lanes, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
oh brother, oh brother. L said, what in the world is going on with these crazy people?
Well, they are in it's the California fresh air, and that is the story I'm going to stick with. They ain't used to the California air, some of them.
I don't know. It's too much. It's too much going on in this episode. So much so that I've had difficulty getting all my photos in. So you guys are going to have to bear with me. I got a lot of photos, but it's a lot that I don't have. It's so crazy because I can only fit so many in, right? So let's see what's going on here. JR, you available to speak, or you still okay?
Yes, I am. No, I'm available. I'm right here.
Okay, what
What
do you think is going on? What do you think is going on with these crazy people? Because this episode was a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess because these people never should have met. A lot of them, they never should have met. That's what the title should have been. Never should have met. A lot of them have held secrets, and a lot of them are not. Well, the rest of them are not really compatible. That's what it looks like to me. So you got tension and apprehension and
all the shuns.
It's just, all the entrance.
And distractions.
Yeah,
don't forget distractions, JR.
Yes. Yeah, distractions and factions, and it's crazy.
I don't know, guys. Well, anyway, what's the weather doing like where you are now? It is nice and sunny and warm here in Michigan. How about you, Elsie? What you got going on?
It is 80 degrees. It's rain, so we are humid of the yin yang. Ooh, it is humid over here in the south.
Hey, Babs, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome back. Carlton. Hey, Carlton, good to see you. Shout out to Carlton. Just a mess. You're right, Babs. This episode is absolutely a mess. I don't understand. JR, did you think it was going to be like this when Clay finally divulged his secret?
Nope, not at all. I've been waiting for him to expose the secret to see how Tatiana was going to react and if they can repair the relationship. But she didn't even bat an eyelid. She didn't even care. So he could have told her earlier. But I was saying last week, one of the things that might save Clay is the fact that his friend would throw a flare, like a distraction, so that when the secret is revealed, it would take the sting out of it. And that's kind of what happened. But obviously it was unintentional.
Well, we start off with just the people. We start off actually with Charlie and Jared in the kitchen. And Jared's making tacos, so he's basically reheating up last night's supper. So that's okay. Leftovers are okay for those who like them, love them. I'm one that will do leftovers. I don't know about anybody else. Elsie, do you ever do leftovers?
I do leftovers, but I've never done leftover tacos for breakfast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Have you ever had pizza for breakfast?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay.
That's the college days. That's the college days.
right. So I was just thinking. I think we've kind of probably done something similar. It might not have been tacos. It could have been a pizza. But what about you, Jr.?
Definitely pizza for breakfast. Tacos, no, I don't really eat those. They have to be eaten the same day if I get those. Especially those burrito tacos. Burrito tacos don't last long at all when I get those. Because you get the consomme and yeah, burrito tacos is good. But it's something I very rarely eat. Pizza, on the other hand, definitely smashing that the next day, reheated up with some honey mustard dressing or honey mustard sauce or something, or with some barbecue.
Oh, that sounds
Definitely.
good. That sounds really, really good. Hey there, Miss Wilson. Shout out to Miss Wilson. Yes, indeed. As El Cid has pointed out, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button and tell us where you're watching from if you haven't already, or what the weather is doing where you are. But so we move over to, of course, Tati and Clay, and they're still like in the, I don't know, what would you call it, El Cid? Kind of like in the
Intimacy suites or the boom boom room.
yeah, well, yeah, and they kind of no, I was kind of trying to say like they're still in the throes of passion. That's the word I'm looking for. Throes of passion still.
Oh.
We see them here on screen. They're just kissing, and this is what it is. They're kissing, and they're hugged up.
He had
And,
grease on his lips.
oh, he had grease on his lips.
How did she not know he would have bacon grease on his lips?
Oh, bacon grease. Oh, Lord. So he done snuck off while she was sleeping and fried up some bacon?
I'm just saying. I'm just making a fun at him eating the meat sandwich from
Okay. And then you got Cinco. Cinco kind of comes in and said, yeah, it's about time. The thing I don't like about this, I'm looking at this house. I know they're all couples. They're there for the same purpose, but it's kind of like on Married at First Sight. Now, there is points in times when the couples are too much together, because if I'm laying in bed with my man, I don't want your homie coming in, joking and laughing and like basically high-fiving you proverbially about, yeah, man, you finally smashed, man. You finally smashed. JR, what are your thoughts?
Not surprised by that. Listen, the guys all sleep in one room and the girls sleep in the other room. So when there is an opportunity for a guy and his girl to get together, it's not like all the couples have been intimate. There's some couples that ain't never gonna see the boom boom room as far as one of them's concerned. So
we're gonna be talking about them in a second too. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, the way I see it is, it's kind of like you said, like college room atmosphere, and it's a way to congratulate the couples for making it to that step, I guess. But Jared and Charlie, they've had a physical attraction the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just that the secrets that they both divulge would have kind of thrown a spanner in the works. And as we find out, it's definitely affected the way Jared sees the relationship going now. And I think he's out of there. He just wants to lay up and get some cheeks. Once he cracks, then he's gonna pack. That's what I think he's up to.
That seems to be more than one of the guys' thing that's going on. They want to crack and smash and crack, and like what? Like are all these people just that comfortable with casual sex, especially casual sex in front of the whole wide world?
Well,
but is it casual?
I mean, yeah, you're in a relationship. It's not casual. You're in a relationship. But I would also say.
But wait, hold up. Okay,
yeah.
I define relationships. So, can you be in a relationship with someone if the man says, or the woman says that after I smash a few times, I'm gonna go my own way? Is that a relationship, really?
No, they were in a relationship before that happened, though. They were in a relationship for 4 years, or 6 months or 8 months.
Okay, but I'm talking about. I want to get back to Clay and Tati though. Getting back to Clay, I know they were they were, I think, talking for
8
8
months.
months. 8
Right.
months, right?
Right. So that's the whole reason why he held his secret, because they were meant to be in a relationship for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So his child coming into the scene over the last 6 months or 2 months or whatever it was, that's why he held the secret, because they're meant to be in a relationship. Now, him and Tati didn't crack, didn't smash, didn't do any of that. They just had lots of kissing, cuddling, and boom, boom, room. But there was no intercourse as far as we know. But you have to remember, if you've done all the talking online, then when you're in person, you talked already. It's time to get physical. What are you waiting for?
Oh, okay. All righty there.
That's
We know
exactly what Jay said. That's
we know what your love language is.
Well, it's not wasting time. Wasting time isn't my love language.
Mm-mm. All right.
That's why Jay said we going to hit the shower right now. So it
Yeah,
ain't just the fellas.
Yeah, Jay,
Exactly.
right? You're right. Jay didn't waste no time. She said, let me see what you're working with. She did not waste no time. I would have thought that would have been Chris and his lady, Alexi.
No, she wouldn't. Alexi don't want to waste time. Clearly, she saw the ping pic and said that's what she wants. But it's Chris holding off from doing that, I think. And that's why she said she's never had to work so hard for a young boy before. So, yeah, listen, it's not just the dudes, Aubrey. The ladies want to crack too.
Well, yeah, no doubt. You're right, no doubt. I'm just saying, though, the ladies aren't the ones talking about cracking and then abandoning. You don't see that.
No, but they're talking about cracking, and some of them have had one night stands and produced children, and some of them.
Oh, I think we lost him for a second.
Well, yeah, I think I can kind of follow maybe a little bit of what JR was saying, that some of these people have had these children, like this couple right here. He has a whole child the whole 8 months while he's talking to her, because if the kid is almost 3 months now, well, I'm sorry, not the whole time, but he had someone pregnant then most of the time while he was talking to her. And I'm like,
Aubrey? Can y'all? Aubrey, did we lose you? Are we dropping like flies?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how the mute got on, but it was there.
Okay.
I was just saying hey to Miss Wilson and hey to go to Africa. Yep. It's good to see you guys. Good to have you back. I mean, what do you guys think about this? I mean, is it just the dudes that are talking about the smashing and then the dashing? Because I don't hear the ladies talking about smash. You're right, JR. Jay did say she wanted to smash, but she never said she wanted to dash immediately after.
Well, I mean,
Miss Iffy. Wait a minute, hold on. Who? Both of who are in a relationship? Put that in the chat. Go ahead, Elsit.
Yeah, I think people are at a point in these relationships. We've been talking for 4 months plus, and I know they've been talking about all kinds of other things. So for me, I wouldn't see it as casual, because y'all have been speaking. Y'all are, late 20s, early 30s. Y'all are responsible adults. So even if you wanted to smash and dash, I wouldn't hold it against you. You've invested time in this relationship or in conversing with this person. So if y'all feel like, handling business the first night, that's fine. If you want to wait a while, that's fine. To me, they've been talking for a very long time, and I didn't like that, Clay felt that he should have, intimacy with Tatiana without her knowing everything. That is where I was like, nah, you really was playing her.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think Clay should have told his secret a lot earlier. And as we said, like she didn't even care anyway. So he held that in for so long, putting duress and stress on himself. And it wasn't even major. But he's diabolical because he intended to sleep with her without her knowing what the secret was.
And he did. He did exactly that. And all the love bombing, all the pathological lies. I love you. I love you. I really care for you. Nothing is going to tear us apart. We'll get to that. How it didn't take much to slide down that slippery slope.
Right. But again, just like El Cid said, it's not smashing and dashing if you've been in a relationship 4 months, 8 months, 4 years. That's not the same thing as a casual relationship. Casual relationship is one night stand.
I beg to differ, JR. You know why I beg to differ? Because nowadays with technology, with text messaging and oh God, I can't. FaceTiming.
Social media, FaceTiming, yeah.
Right, and social media. Here's the thing. Folks feel like they really know these people, like you said, because of 8 months, 6 months, 5 months. But what do you know about them? You just only know what they have told you. And as it turns out, a lot of that isn't even true. So you really don't know them.
Right. So exactly. So if you do get to know them and you don't have the same attraction to them in person,
okay,
then it's time to go. And if you smash before that, then you're a grown up. Like, you decided to do that. That I'm not gonna hold someone. I'm not gonna demonize or villainize them and say, yeah, you're a player because after you had sex, you decided to leave. No, the relationship may not have been one that's gonna last. Not all relationships work.
No, you're right. They don't. But I'm just saying that if people go into so-called relationships with the idea that they just want sex, okay, let's just look at that. If they go into it, can we agree that that's not really their but yet they're telling the other person, I love you, I want to be with you. That's a lie. This guy's a pathological liar. Like he says right here, we just do whatever feels right in the moment. He says whatever feels right and he does whatever feels right. He has absolutely no self-control.
Well, I would put Jared in that category as well, because Jared is love bombing Charlie, telling her that he wants to be there and he doesn't want to be there. He's just out for the cheeks.
Absolutely. So, he's another liar because he's another one that hit a baby, right?
Right. So Clay and Jared definitely. But I think Clay's just saying here it's called being spontaneous. That's what that is. If it feels right in the moment, let's do it. That's called spontaneity. It doesn't have to be some formulaic equation or plan or schedule. That takes the fun out of it sometimes.
But here's what also going to take the fun out of it is the fact that it may feel right for you in this moment with your person, but you have a bold-faced lie. And if the internet is to be believed, he has 2 bold-faced lies that he is keeping from her. So how could that feel right to be intimate with your person, knowing this?
I know. El Cid, I know what lie you're talking about. I saw that too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. We're talking. You're on Jared, talking about Jared for a moment now, right?
No, Clavier. Another lady came out to say Clavier is the father of her daughter as well.
Wait a minute. Where did I miss this at? Was this on social media? Did I miss this?
Yeah.
Yes, Tatiana put it out there.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I told you the guy's pathological. You can't tell me he's not. I know pathological when I see it.
There is also a third nugget, El Cid, which is his relationship with the friend.
Yes.
That is they've actually dated before and, you know, smashed before and all of that stuff.
But you know what he wanted to tell me over on Instagram on the own page when I said that he was for the streets? He was like, "Oh no, why you gotta say that? That's my sister." He said that Jamila was his sister.
Yeah. Now, after they dated,
liar.
After they dated their friends or whatever, but no, she's one of his exes.
Right. She appeared on a show as one of his exes.
Yeah.
So why lie about it? If you dated somebody before, just say that. It's not uncommon that people date. One of my best friends, I was engaged to be married to him. He's now my best friend, you know, decades later. So what's the big deal? But don't lie about it. You're right, Babs. Both of them are diabolical. You are absolutely right.
I think for Clay may be the type, maybe, I don't know him. He may be the type that he wants, as he said, peace. He wants a stress-free relationship. And he enjoys this portion of it where you don't know all his dirt. So you are still looking at him as a good guy. You are still looking at him as this could be a future. But what he doesn't understand is when the trap door opens and all of the weight of the lies, pulls the floor out from beneath you, there's a long fall that he could have saved you from. He's not given the woman the opportunity to be with him genuinely through all of his faults. And I think that may be a self-loathing part of him as well.
Yes, I agree with all that you just said just there, because why not give someone a chance to love you, flaws and all? We know that we're all flawed. We know that's a fact.
Yeah, he don't want to open himself up to the criticism and the shame as well. I think there's an element of shame with him hiding a child, because why would you hide children if you're not ashamed of them? Like, your partner's going to find out about them eventually. So why have you decided to wait to tell them? That's something important. So, yeah, Clay, Jared, Charlie, all those who hid children, absolutely diabolical.
I was just getting ready to say, Miss Iffy, if you want to, you can come up. You can use your avatar and come up and join us. Yeah, I don't know. This guy, he's giving me a really, 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 really bad headache. Really bad.
Hey,
well, the good thing is he's no longer there, as we're gonna come to. He left.
Yeah.
So your headache is spared.
Okay. All right. What about this couple? I was surprised to see that Kiki and Brandon were hugged up on the sofa, looking very, very, very affectionate. And this is what he's been wanting from her. Elsie, what did you make of this?
How did this come to pass?
How did it?
Does Kiki know he there?
I would hope she could feel something. I would hope he was giving her something that she could feel, so that she would know that his love is real.
So I was like, how did this happen? I'm seeing the wine glass. Is that the only glass? I was just like, okay, Brandon, you got the hugged up that you wanted. I'm hoping that it is filling his cup like he wanted. I'm hoping he's feeling the physical touch. But again, Kiki is not trying to go any further with him. You see, she knows she has a secret, and she's not trying to do too much like Clay is. So she's like, okay, I could lay here on the couch with you and still keep my secret. This is not too much, but it's fine. If Brandon likes it, I love it.
If he likes it, you love it, huh?
I
think it looks like he likes it. Now, here's the thing. Has she shared her secret?
No.
That's the thing.
No, she's not going to. No, she's not going to.
Why would you feel the need to? Why would she feel the need to?
Because she wants to be honest, just like we were just speaking a minute ago about Clay. She wants him
No,
to really know what it is, like, so that if he doesn't want to be with her because of how long she stayed with her ex, then he has that opportunity and that right, that choice.
But
no,
she
she
came
didn't.
here for a vacation. She's in that category too, Aubrey. Of just come for a little bit of time and leave. She said she on vacation. Don't stress me.
Right,
I'm on
you right.
vacation.
She say, I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here for a good time.
There you go. There you go. Sorry, JR.
No, I mean, you basically said what I was going to say. She is only there to enjoy herself while she's there, take a little break. She already knows it's going to be disastrous once Brandon hears about her and her ex and when they broke up and the timelines and everything. That's why I think she may be trying to appease him now with a little bit of a drunken sleep on his lap. But no, it's going to take more than that. So I'm not sure how she sees this relationship continuing while she continues to hold a secret. And she had the audacity to sit there and listen to everyone talking about Clay secret and how he's not telling Tati and everything. Man, she's not telling Brandon either. So she shouldn't be joining in with all of that stuff. She need to focus on either breaking the news to Brandon and trusting that they have something solid that they can work through it, or continue to be diabolical, hide the secret, give him a little hug or two, and then just leave and go back to where she comes from and call it quits. I have no idea what she's gonna do yet. I really don't see any. I have no idea. Like, it would just be it wouldn't surprise me either way if she quit the relationship or if she told him. I don't know how invested she is in actually making it work.
Your take, El Cid. Thank you for that.
I do agree. She is, at least listening. I made mention that she wouldn't even let him hold her two hands. So they have definitely made progress. I don't know if this is a day or two, because we know all the episodes before was just a week. So she is kind of opening up a little bit to Brandon. So I appreciate her listening and, being willing to provide him with the physical touch that he's asking for, but within her limits. So we all know Kiki like a good lay on the couch. And Brandon has, contorted himself so that he could also lay on the couch with her.
Does he look like he's comfortable? Because she look like she's very comfortable.
I wouldn't be comfortable in his position, but again, if he is comfortable, with one leg on, one leg off, I don't know. But if he's comfortable, I'm comfortable, because he is smiling. He looks like this is what he wanted, to lay on the couch and chill with his lady. I'm happy for him, but not for the lack of the secret telling.
I don't know. He looks like, to me, he's kind of mastering breath control. Yeah, I if this is all he wants and this is what's gonna make him happy, then I don't know what's wrong with Brandon, boy, because that's that's nowhere near enough. I'm sorry. This isn't what you've been talking to this girl for 4 years for, Brandon. Sorry. So yeah, I'm definitely, now that Clay's secret is out, we just have this secret left to come, and I'm just thinking, how is she going to deliver it, and what his reaction going to be.
Well,
she better not deliver it on the limo ride back to the airport, because they both got to hit Atlanta before he hit Alabama.
Oh, good point. Good point. Well, so as we move on to Jay, whose full name is Jessica. I thought that was cute. We found that out last week. Jay is like, you know what? She's talking to Cinco and she's telling him, look, let me tell you something. There is no reason we needed to know that Clay's best friend is a porn star. Why did he have to tell us that? I know he was drinking a little bit last night, but I think that's odd. Like, and then he's trying to say he hasn't smashed. Elsie, what did you make of that conversation?
Since these are strangers and people I don't know, I would not have said that. Especially you don't know how the reaction people have or perceptions people have with your friend being in that industry. See, I wouldn't mind, if my friend was there, or if my friend would, I have a friend who, sells, adult toy equipment. So we always kiki and have a good time and have fun at a store, and that's just fun. But I'm not going to start by saying, hey, this is my friend, she sells adult toys. No, because you never know how your friend wishes to present themselves to the group. Right. Again, let one of the men see. My diabolical thinking is, I want to see which one of these men in here might recognize her. I ain't saying a daggone thing.
Right. Oh yeah, I was just watching her last night.
Right. Well, it's like, oh, she looks familiar. I can't place her.
That would tell us so much more, wouldn't it?
Exactly. See, sometimes the silence gives you more. But I don't, everybody did not need to know. I'm with Jay. Everybody did not need to know. But it seems like, Clay is using that as a badge of honor, I think, with, trying to be cool with the cool kids. Like, oh, my friend does this. And it's like, dude, we don't need to know that. Certainly let your friend tell us if she wishes for us to know. Maybe she's no longer acting. Maybe she's behind the camera. We don't know.
That's
so just leave it alone. She may wish to, this is also going to be televised and be forever. Maybe she wishes to change her image. Don't put it out there like that. Say, this is my best friend. I've known her since I was 6 years old. We, went away, came back together. And since they know the secret, he could have said, we're so close. She's my daughter's godmother, and leave it there. Clay talking too much to the wrong people.
Way too much. JR, what did you think about the conversation that Jay is having with Cinco about the porn star and all that information?
Yeah, Clay didn't need to say all of that. I don't see what the benefit of saying that was. It's gonna make people look at him sideways, look at her sideways. The friend that is Tatiana, if she ever found out, and had a problem with that, which she obviously did. Yeah, I don't know why you divulge that information. Way too much. Let the friend tell people what she does if she decides to. He just needed to say, okay, this is my friend. I've known her X amount of years, or we go way back. Or like Elsie said, yeah, this is my child's godmother. But remember, at that point, Tati doesn't know that he's even got a child.
Right. No, she doesn't.
No.
She does not know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, he hasn't, first of all, primarily, Clay hasn't had the masculine fortitude to tell her to her face. But yet all the other women in the house, they also haven't wanted to tell her either. I think, the thing that I would be upset with, because I'm going to be, if I was her, if I'm Tati, I'm going to be upset primarily with Clay, because he's the one I'm having the relationship with, right? He's the one that I've talked to for 8 months. But I think I would also be very, very upset that the women didn't find a way to tell me. Now, like Elsie, you gave an idea on how you would do it, how you would tell her without being anonymous. Could you repeat that from last week for those that weren't here?
Tell who?
Like if you were like, let's say you were Jay and you wanted to tell Tati, you had given us an example of a way to do it anonymously. Would you repeat that?
Oh, I was saying leave her a note somewhere, because the thing is, these people are strangers. First of all, I wouldn't really tell her because I don't know how she'll react or how Claire will react, and we all got to live together. But if you want to tell her something and they've been telling her through the games, you could put a note in her makeup bag or a note somewhere under the vegan butter, because she's the only one using it now, and make sure she can see it. You know, that she's like, go talk to Clay, and you know, he's hiding a major secret that you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that.
And then draw a head of a little bitty baby at the end of it too, like a little emoji.
And that's if you really want to tell her, because my thing is, that's if the person wants to tell. I wouldn't, because I don't know these people. It's been a week. I don't know them, and I know people may think that, oh, you're holding Clay's secret for him, but it's not my secret to tell. It's not mine.
Exactly, and that's why instead of writing a note, you need to just mind your business, because it's not your relationship.
Okay, Chris. Okay, country Chris.
Yeah, you don't know them like that. It's not your business. You're just being messy. You're just getting involved in other people's stuff. If she finds out, listen, by the way Tati reacted to actually finding out that he does have a child, she wasn't even focused on that. She was focused on what this girl looked like and how she interacted with Clay. You're putting yourself at risk of her wanting to find out who it is that wrote that note and why did you write it instead of coming to tell her personally. She probably erupt on you as well. So it's best just to stay out and mind your business and just watch it play out.
You may have a point, JR. Guys, as you're listening, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and you've liked the video. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of in between on that, because I think if I were there, I love El Cid's suggestion of keeping it anonymous, so she can't say, when he asked her, who told you? She can't say me, so I'm not in the middle of it. But dropping a major hint or something to tell her that I love what El Cid. She didn't really actually tell Tati, but she said, you need to ask him some more questions. And I would probably add about if he has any children or not.
Right. But Bobby, you have to understand that because you've decided to do that anonymously, if she came and asked you personally, was it you that wrote the note? Would you lie to her, or would you tell her the truth?
No, I would tell her the truth. If she came to me and asked me, yeah, I would tell her the truth.
Right. So then you're now putting yourself in their business, because she'll just be like, why did you write a note? Why didn't you just come and tell me? Why are you playing games? Or she might say, why didn't you just keep your nose out of it and not say nothing?
She might. You know what? Because oftentimes the person that brings the message, the messenger, is the one that's sometimes stabbed. So
exactly. Yeah. The messenger, that's what my point is. The messenger is sometimes the one that gets the clap back, not the actual person who the secret's about. So that's why you stay out of it.
As we saw with the friend visit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've got one more on this. So she's talking to Jay. She's letting him know about that Clay has got a baby mama. That's bad enough. We haven't even got to the friend yet. This is where my pictures are a little lacking. But we've got the friend coming in. Chris answers the door. She swooshes past Chris, and Clay's coming out from the kitchen or whatever, and she jumps into his arms and she tries to throw her leg around him, but he's so thick her leg starts to slide down. But she's trying real hard. Is that the way your best friend normally greets you, JR?
No, absolutely not. But my friend doesn't do porn, and I thought it was a very disrespectful move for her to do that, because she knows she's there to meet him and his girl. So how can you lack the awareness to know that by jumping up and doing that, that might incite some type of raised eyebrows or anger from the girlfriend, especially if the girlfriend's possessive, territorial, and jealous? She's not going to want to see you hugged up on a man like that. So that was a very disrespectful move, unless it was done intentionally to kind of sabotage the relationship. And in that, if that's the case, then she actually played a blinder, because by doing that, she actually sped up Clay telling the secret and also angered Tati to the point where it seemed like there was no resolution for the relationship. So if she intended to break them up, then that's how you greet. That's how you greet her.
So do you feel like the best friend has eyes for Clay?
I feel like, based on the knowledge that I came to find out afterwards, after watching the show, they'd previously dated before or had some type of relationship before. And I think if she doesn't like him moving on in this particular relationship, then she kind of marked her territory by the way she greeted him. And he doesn't seem like he's too smart to even pick up on what she did. He saw it as nothing. Like, this is just my friend. Nah, man, there's no way your girl can jump up. Sorry, your friend can jump up and hug you in front of your girl like that. Even though it wasn't in front of Tati, but it's in front of all the other housemates. And we know that some of them are messy and are going to reenact the scene. Yeah, so, bad move.
And speaking on the housemates, so the housemates, I think it started. I'm trying to remember. Do you remember, Sid, who it started with that started talking about it? Was that
Chris?
Yeah, Chris. His eyes got real big and he got that little devilish smile on his face, right? And then
he was telling his woman to be quiet and stay out the business. Is the first one coming? Oh, she pushed me to the side to get to him. She pushed me. I was all on him. See, it be the ones that telling you to hush, be the biggest blabbermouths out there. And let's clarify. It may be too much for y'all, but again, her legs were not wrapped around him. Her leg did come up, maybe to his calf or knee. She was not wrapped around him. Now, I only say that is like, my friends and I be male.
So thick. Only because he's so thick and she's so little.
I understand, but when the story kept being passed around, all of a sudden both her legs are wrapped around him, and the story just got bigger and bigger than what we actually saw. Unless there was a separate hug where she was wrapped around him that we did not see. But what we did see from her back angle was she had her right leg was wrapped around like his knee. Yes, right. It may be a little too much. No, but his woman was not in front of the audience. I understand, JR. She was there to meet her. Understood. The most my friends would do would bear hug me and lift me maybe, tippy toe off the ground. That's it. I understand. I understand how it looks. And based on him telling her profession, I understand.
But Sid, she can't lift him tippy toes off the ground. I don't think anyone can in the house.
Yeah, but he did lift her though.
Yeah, he did.
I caught that shade too, by the way, JR.
But what I will say though is she I think the housemates, because they know that he's hiding a secret, they deliberately added 2 on 10 to exaggerate what happened to try and rile her up even more. Because they just want to see the secret come out.
And so, the profession he said his friend had, because then again, any kind of close contact will seem a little sketchy.
Exactly. And it was Jay that told Tatiana that this hug took place.
And she wasn't there to see it.
Exactly. She didn't even see it. So that's how you know there was this groupthink, this messy groupthink. Yeah, let's just exaggerate this whole thing and get him to tell Tatiana that he's got the child. But let's also create this situation where there's beef. It definitely, some of that was at play, because how can you not see what took place, but then go and tell her as if you saw it? That's diabolical. Very messy.
Very messy. Very, very messy indeed. Did anybody else catch that when Tati said, I'm just gonna let them, before Clay goes out to meet, his best friend, he gives Tati a kiss, and Tati says, I wasn't gonna go out. I'm just gonna let them, you know, reminisce or gather together or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I'm his new woman, I've never met the best friend yet. And I'm assuming that he's told her that it's a woman because she didn't seem to be surprised about her being a female. I'm going to go out and see what's going on. I'm not going to let nobody have to come tell me. I'm going to be right side by side with my man. What do you think, Elsie?
Well, what we saw was that she was there, and Clay tried to introduce her to his friend, and Tati made a beeline. To me, Tati could have met the friend, say hello, and that's how you kind of look the woman in the face and kind of gauge interest, gauge
Yes.
what's going on. Heck, I would be diabolical and I would go up to him, hey, sweetie, give him a kiss on the lips, and then turn to her to see her reaction. Because
Exactly.
I need to
This is
know.
what I'm talking about. High five, virtual high five. Elsie.
There you go. I need to know if you feeling some kind of way, because technically this is my boo right now, and I need to also see how he behaves around this best friend. Yeah, we'll go kiss him. Hey, sweetie, pleasure to meet you. We've been talking, and glad he had a wonderful best friend. Hope we can talk more. I'm gonna let y'all catch up before we get back together. That's it. That's it, and that's all. You could see and know so much by that interaction. But when Tati didn't even barely look the young lady in the face and say hello and dipped off, I was like, "This, what is going on?" But then again, I applaud the fact that I don't need to be all up in the mix while you catch up with your friend. I'm gonna give you that time you all need to catch up, and then I come in later on like everybody does with the visitors. I guess that's
Right.
just me.
No,
Right.
not just you. That's the way I look at it too. I look at it exactly that way. El said, I'm not going to be in the background when this new friend or this best friend comes to visit. I'm going to be like right side by side, my arms around them, like you said, probably lean up and stand on my tippy toes and give them a little kiss on the lips, and hey boo, whatever, to see both gauge her reaction and his, because I
Right.
think that gives you so much more information than having secondhand information from these housemates who really don't have any investment in your relationship.
I saw it as a lack of effort and wanting to get to know the friend personally. That is the whole point of the friend coming isn't just to catch up with Clay, to meet the partner that he's been dating online for all these months. So the fact that Tatiana decided to just sit down and cool out with a drink on the couch, obviously give them a few moments, but the only reason why she got up and went out there is when she heard about the hug.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she would have just sat down there and continued to chill and drink.
Right, because we've got everybody basically coming to her saying, "Hey, look, this is what's going on," and they're in the dining room. They're making so much noise. She comes in and says, "What's going on?" And they begin to tell her. So she saunters out to see the girlfriend again, who's by the pool with Clay, and she's like, got the drink in her hand, and she's like, "Look, you don't need to jump on my man like that. You don't need to do all of that. That's not necessary." And the best friend is kind of like, "Well, this is the way we always hug. We've been friends since we were 7, and so forth and so on." And the thing that started to kind of anger me is, while this exchange is going back and forth at the very beginning, Clay is already putting his hands on Tatiana as if to hold her back, and she hasn't really made a gesture yet, like uh aggressive. So I'm like, why do you have your hands on her? Elsie, what did you think?
in the scene, it looked like Tati was either going to throw the drink or the glass.
Okay.
When she came out, even Jay came out because Jay was
came
concerned
out after her. Yes.
Right, and was taking the glass from her. So the heat at which I guess we don't see or we don't know. But for me, Tati came out on 10. 10 plus 10.
She came in hot. She came in hot, huh?
Real hot. And I was like, why all this heat for the friend who you know for 5 seconds when your man is in a committed relationship with you? Your man was laid up with you just the night before. So my thing was, Clay had to have known or seen whatever, because Tati came in hot, and I don't think she would have been, fisticuffs with the girl, but definitely throwing the drink may have happened. And I think he wanted to be in the way of, hey, don't do this. Don't go there. And I don't know. I'm sorry, ladies. Why let a man get you to this point? Why are you allowing him or allowing the situation to get you to a point to be fodder for production? I was like, Tati, please, they are going to use this footage all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Please keep it cute. Keep it cute. I mean, even if you came out telling him off and using words or whatever, but the fact that you're like, oh, that you could be wearing this drink, it means there could be physical altercation.
Yes.
Please don't. I was like, Tati, is this man even worth it?
No, absolutely not.
But yeah,
absolutely not.
I understood why he stood in front of her. He would bear the brunt of it. I just think that of all the things, he should not be having to cool down. And she is getting hot off of hearsay. Jay never saw it. The other people are exaggerating. You are believing all these people. I would have gone to the cameraman and said, I need that rewound back. Where is the production room? I need to see what this hug actually looked like. And then I'm going to decide how I behave. But what I'm not going to do is play past the message and have all these people throwing kerosene on this fire and have me being hot and carrying on. Not going to happen.
No. JR, what do you think?
Man, she's violent, man. Like she looking to put, she listen, she can't threaten Clay like that, because I mean, that would be domestic violence, and he's bigger than her. He's like nearly twice her size. Yeah, like so it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense bringing threats and I'm gonna put this drink on you too. It wouldn't make no sense. But she fit. Listen, it's the fact that the friend wrapped her legs around Clay.
But JR, she didn't, as El said pointed out, she didn't see that with her own 2 eyes.
No, she didn't have to, because she had the whole messy group in the house telling her that they described it to her. Yeah, and she put her legs around him. So as far as she's concerned, she's probably thinking that was the bit that was over the top. Okay, you hug and you greet your friend. Cool. But for you to jump into his arms and wrap your legs right now, you're doing too much. You're being extra. So that's why she went to the friend, because Clay didn't tell her to tell the friend to do that. The friend did that off her own back, and that was very disrespectful. Disrespectful to his relationship, and disrespectful to Tati, even though she don't know her. Why would you do that? Doesn't matter how cool you are and how long you know each other. You're supposed to be friends. So you're not supposed to jump up and wrap your legs around no one. Only for your man. Tati is allowed to do that to Clay, but not the friend.
Right.
But there's a way to address it, JR, if you wish to. This is your first time meeting that friend, first time seeing their interaction. Yes, it's too much, but there's a way to address it with this friend and with your man.
Of course, tactfully, but she's not tactful. She's aggressive. She's violent. She's ready to put hands on people. She's ready to snap. That's why they egg her on about the secret and, all these different things. They're egging her on because they know she's got a bad temper. And that's also why Clay is reluctant to tell her anything because we've seen her blow up over the vegan thing and how she moves. So yeah, like he's afraid of the repercussions, you know, and has to manage how he says things so that she doesn't erupt on him.
I don't know how we get here with the sweetest person in the house.
Right. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. All I'm remembering is that Cinco and all of them are saying she's the sweetest, kindest person in the house. How do we get here trying to toss drinks if we're the sweetest, kindest person in the house?
Exactly. Kind of sweet is that?
Well, people have different sides, and I want to go back to something you just said, JR. That's what I was almost interrupting El Cid about. I want to go back to something. You said something about how angry, upset she got when he was the whole vegan thing. If we go back to that scene in that episode, she wasn't upset that he wasn't vegan. She was upset, like I said, the pathological liar was doing his thing, lying again. He was just lying. Am I the only one seeing that?
Yeah, but you listen, he's a big dude. If he wants to eat a cheeseburger, let him eat his cheeseburger. He's not ready to fully convert to veganism. Just because you're a vegan and you care about animals and PETA and all these different charities and stuff, he said he would try it to get closer to her. You know, if he decides to take a break from trying and has a cheeseburger, there's no reason to flip out like that. But I get it. He lied about how much he was committed to veganism. That's still no reason to lose your damn temper. I'm sorry.
That's when he don't have any suave with his lie. He don't have any suave with his lie. Because what he could have said is, you know, I'm trying for this vegan stuff. It is going to be a struggle. And I just felt the need for, you know, a 3-meat sandwich. So yes, I will fall in this journey to get there, but I'm not there yet. You see,
Exactly.
he don't have the suave to lie properly.
No, he doesn't. He could have said, listen, I'm going to try. I may make a slip up every now and again. The smell of burgers, the smell of bacon is irresistible. I'm sorry.
Bacon.
So if I do slip up, you know, it's, you know, don't crucify me. Help support me so that I can join you on your journey to veganism. And eventually we'll get there. I can't go cold turkey and just all of a sudden stop eating meat. So I'm going to make a slip up every now and again. I'm telling you from now. But if I do, don't chastise me for it. Could have said that.
And right. And on my dietary journey, because I don't eat red meat or poultry, I only eat some seafood, some different fish, and only certain shellfish. The thing is that it took a while to just wean yourself off of all of the other stuff. So again, it is a journey. And you know what, you know, she could have said is, you know, it is a journey. And he could have said that like, hey, I ain't gonna promise everything, but I just didn't want to eat the meat in front of you because I would have deemed that as disrespectful to where you are in your journey. See, he don't even have the suave.
No, you know what it is? He's not communicating with her. He's so busy. I think one of the things you said is he's a people pleaser, but he's a people pleasing liar. He is so busy trying to get into them drawers that's all he thinks about. He doesn't think about what he's saying. He doesn't think about telling the truth. He just thinks about he wants the yams. That's all he's thinking about.
Yeah, but the thing is, he may be trying to please Tatty, but he isn't pleasing her by doing those type of things. Those type of mistakes are making her mad, right?
Exactly.
And you're right. If he had eaten the burger in front of her, that would have been incredibly insensitive and disrespectful. And, you know, it may have even tempted her to want to quit veganism. So, yeah, he's just not. I don't even think he's that focused on having a relationship. I agree. It seems more like he just wants to clap cheeks and love bomb as well.
And love bomb.
I think if the love bombing worked, then they would have worked. But it didn't work because of the friend coming in and doing what she did. So that ended everything.
Let's talk about that. So in order to love bomb somebody on a continuous basis, there's a certain amount of either we are in a long distance relationship, so you can't see me when I'm out on the town messing around with some other guy, and you're over on your side of the world messing with some other woman. But to be right in the vicinity and to be so delusional that anything a person says you take it as absolute fact, that is crazy to me. That's crazy.
Well, I've got to give grace here. I mean, I don't know with these people and their online relationships. It seems like maybe we don't know and we're not sending flowers to each other or to her. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like were we not doing other things to romance, send a gift or so? Because it's been 8 months or so. So how are you developing these relationships long distance wise? Because for me, why is it him giving you these flowers are kind of over the top? Why does his friend have to tell him to get these flowers for you? Because my thing is, this should have all been part of the buildup over the 5 or 6 months we've been talking.
Right.
Exactly. Good point. Because
And
him telling her that his friend, that was her idea for the flowers, again, he just has no emotional IQ, because why would you tell her that when she's already bugged out about your friend? You don't need to be bringing up nothing that friend did at this point in time. That's just like, it's almost like he wanted to set her ablaze. JR, go ahead.
right. And from the clip that I saw where he had, I mean, there's a clip that's out where he's got like 3 or 4 ex-girlfriends, including this friend,
Really?
talking about their experience of dating him. And none of them actually said anything bad, like he doesn't, he's not romantic and all these other different things at all. And I don't think they would go back with him, but they still have a relationship with him that's friendly and cordial for the most part. But I was surprised to see this friend as someone saying that she's dated him before, when their story on the show is that they've known each other since they were kids, and that's all. So I don't think he presented himself to Tati in the best light, but for the most part, he's just come across as like a clumsy dude, man. Trips over himself, he creates his own downfall, he creates his own traps and falls for them every single time.
He doesn't understand how those flowers, the fact that you said that your friend had to tell you, whether it was a lady friend or not, the fact that you didn't think about giving me flowers yourself instead of a friend telling you what you need to do, dude, that wasn't it.
Exactly. And also, how is it that's kind of rubbing salt in the wound? Well, she's the one that told me to get you the flowers in the first place. Of course Tati's gonna be like, Tati's not gonna find that endearing. You're gonna be like, bro, why didn't you think of that yourself? And why didn't you give the flowers to your friend since she was to wrap her legs around you? That's the type of petty response I would have expected from Tati.
I got one more observation, and you guys tell me your thoughts on this before we move on. Also, the friend, after this I don't want to say, I guess, altercation, this confrontation with Tati and the best friend, when Tati storms off and goes with the other women to talk to them and kind of blow some steam off, the best friend says, well, you know what? She's not someone you would want around your child. She's not going to be a good example.
Yeah.
And then we also find out that she is the godmother to his child, this baby.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting to me. But the whole idea that she said that she's not going to be a reflection on you. What do you think about that, JR?
She's right. She's not. She's too hot-headed, too short-tempered. That's not the type of person you want to bring around your child. No. The child does something. You don't want the child to be punished. Over the top or anything like that. Not saying Tati would do that, but if they've got a bad temper, then you have to have that concern. So yeah, she's right in that instance. From the first impression she got of Tati, it wasn't a good one.
No,
So
no, it
that's the
wasn't.
verdict she gave, isn't it? That's the reason why she gave that verdict, because the first impression was just hostile and confrontational. She even
Right.
called her a barbarian as well. So that was
Yeah,
quite
she did.
crazy.
She said she's the most barbaric person I've ever met of yours. Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. El said,
The friend, see,
mm,
Clay's friend is the diabolicalness that I know quite well, because she knows, she's observant even in those few moments. She's observant and she knows what matters. And I'm the friend, as the friend, I'm going to be around forever because we've known each other since we were 6. I'm going to be around after forever because I am godmother to your daughter. And this is in 5 minutes. This is how your significant other is going to treat me. How are you going to co parent with her? How are you going to build different things with her? Now I cannot come around and see my godchild. See, she knows where to poke. I'm sorry to
mm,
say. It was
mm.
legitimate, but she knows where to poke. And I was
Right.
like, girl, I was
Very.
watching her. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I was watching her and rubbing my chin and said, I see
Mm.
you. Because even on the phone, even
Right.
on the
I
phone,
see you. Right.
yes,
She's very
even on the
strategic. She's very strategic.
right. I'm not present with you. I'm on the phone with you and Clay, yet I am really rattling you, Tatiana. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you are playing into her hands. She knows Clay. She knows him very well. She knows he did not initiate this call or conversation. But yet she is here talking about what glass you are using to drink your juice, and it's rattling you.
It is.
Why?
Right.
Clay is the problem,
He
and the
is.
problem is not the friend. The problem, and this is not a problem. It's not this again. Like Dr. Brian said, the children are innocent. It is not about the child. Clay keeping the secret of the baby is a problem,
Right.
not
It's
the
him.
hug. The hug can be adjusted, fixed. They can change how they interact to be respectful. But he has a child that he has kept for a week since meeting you. Lady, this is what you should be hot about. Forget the
Right.
friend. She ain't here anymore. Clay in your face lying.
In your face. And
He should
she
have been calling the mother of his child. That's who we should be talking to.
it was so, can I say this, as good and as much juicy stuff that happened in this episode. I was so disappointed in production. I was so disappointed in Clay and Tati, because my question kept as a viewer was like, but Tati, what did you think about the baby? What did you think about him lying to you for 8 months that he had a child? He didn't tell you, or that he had a woman pregnant. And just 3 months ago, she gave birth to his baby. Would you even want this man? I mean, like, why is he creating children over here and then he's trying to date over there, clap cheeks over there, and over there, and over there? I don't. Clay, you for the
Well,
streets.
well, yeah, but she did let us know what she thought. She said it does. She's not even impressed about the baby. That's all she said. She's not even um, pissed about that. She's more concerned about the friend. So she did let us know how she felt.
Say that part again, Jr.
She did. She let us know how she felt about the baby. She said she doesn't even matter at this point.
And I don't understand why. How is that? Like, do you think, okay, I just thought of something. Do you think that because she was so angry about the friend, do you think that's why she said that? Just in the heat of
Yes.
the moment?
Yes, and that's the problem. Some people, when they get mad, they stop gathering information. It builds
Yes.
a wall and you stop absorbing the correct stuff. And yes, it could be when people say they black out mad or whatever. I'm not saying
Okay.
that's Tati Anna in this situation, but she was so hot about the disrespect of the friend, and it didn't happen in her face. Okay? Happened when she's close by. But the thing is, you miss the mark. You missed the
Right.
mark. The entire time y'all were talking, his ex fiance was pregnant with his child. She had the baby. You've been here a week. He's kept this information. That is, to me, is way, way, on a higher scale than if her legs was around him when they hugged. I'm sorry. There's a lady whose legs was way around him and produced a child, and that's what we should be hot about. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And that's the flair I was talking about last week. Something to distract Catty from the secret so that when the secret comes out, it takes the sting out of it. And that's
You did.
exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Um, so let's see here. We've got that out the way. We see the mother, Tati's mother, comes in. She's very youthful looking, very pretty. She comes in, and Tati, you see where Tati gets her looks from. She looks a lot like her mother, like the spitting image. Her mother comes in and she's seated in the living room. Tati gives her several hugs, and she begins to tell her mother about the baby and about the hug, with the emphasis once again being on the hug. So now Clay finally comes in and he wants to meet the mother. So he says, well, can I introduce myself? Tati's a little, she's still a little upset. He goes ahead, he introduces himself to Tati's mother, has us, and then Tati says, well, that's good. Now you can go. What did you think about her attitude and that whole brief interlude? Did he have the right to meet her mother? And if so, the way she talked to him, was that appropriate or what? What do you think, Elsid?
Okay, so we're here at the show, and the point of the show is this whole interaction with the friends and family thing. Should he meet my mother? No. I would have preferred he not meet my mother because, dude, I don't even know if I want to be around you right about now or 5 minutes from now. So I would have preferred not, but hey, mom was already on her way. This is what we have to do to film. And, Tati was right. You need to sit over there on that couch. At least she's being very verbal in her instructions, and he is listening. He is giving her the space, maybe for the drink to reach, but he's giving her the space that she needs. But mom kind of knew Tatiana was shut down. I felt that mom was like, yeah, just be here for a good time then. Just be here for a good time. Tatiana said she wanted to sleep on it. But again, I think mom realized her daughter had checked out. This was too much for her. Too much to be involved with a new relationship. Call it quits. Go about your business and just have a good time. I think that mom's advice was sage. Mom was very gracious. And I think, Tatiana got her wonderful looks from her mother. But that definitely. Graciousness, I need Tatiana to hone in on that with the mama. Because I believe mama would have met the friend, say hello, and gather her own intel. I'm telling you. I wish we were there where the friend wasn't walked out and mama could have seen and met the friend and give her full assessment too. Because something about Tatiana's mother, she may seem very, very quiet and she may seem very, meek, but her eyes were everywhere. She was noticing everything, including the interaction with Clay. And I said, mama clocked it. Mama clocked it right away.
She did. I absolutely agree with you. She clocked it. And I guess and then the other thing, you make me think about this, Elsie, with your comment. It makes me think too, to just kind of go back into Tati's past, whomever she's been hurt by and how she's been hurt. It just maybe seemed to kind of trigger her. And that's why she's so easy to get upset. I think
could be.
Yeah, go ahead.
It could be. I think she has been hurt in the past. I think maybe she has been cheated on before, and it kind of flared up the remembrance of, these, I'm not saying that this is not my thought, but, these lying amen. I think it probably triggered that, and she went back into her response of being mad. But again, even if he's lying and he's out there cheating, it's him doing it. And I would like the spotlight to remain on him and not the friend. It's him. Yes. And don't go back and forth as to whether he's like, should I leave? Should I have hope? You should tell him there's no hope. I can't forgive this. It's this friend interaction, and even more so, you hit a baby, and we need to go. I ain't leaving till in the morning because I ain't having no driver come pick me up at night. But we gonna leave in the morning, and you ain't gonna be cuddled up with me. I think she needed to be very clear. I don't know why she wasn't very clear, and every time he coming around, like his hat in hand, like, are you gonna give it 100%? Are you gonna give me a chance? It should have been like, no, ain't no chance. Ain't no chance other than a 10-second head start before I run after you. That's it.
This is the kind of situation and lies upon lies and a shaky foundation. When people say they don't like it when I say I don't believe in couples that go back and forth. I personally am not going to do it. If we break up, we're broken up. You're gone. You're out of my mind, out of sight. You're blocked on every facet of my life, because I feel like people that do that back and forth, as you pointed out, Elsa, I feel like it's toxic. Whether she doesn't fully understand why she feels the way, she hasn't had time to process all the information, as our viewers are saying out in the chat and in the comments. But still, the fact that he lied about a whole human being, that for me would have been it. Like, lady, what are your deal breakers? What are your freaking deal breakers? You got to have some. It can't be like we end up like what we seen this week on in the trial with who the puffy guy, and what's going on with her, that you're so eager to please a man that you're willing to do darn near anything. It just can't be like that.
I think because the mum was on the way already to meet Clay, the whole situation blowing up at that moment in time just made it awkward. There was evidently like hostility as a result of the friend meetup. And yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if Tati had said, no, I don't want you to meet my mom because this relationship's over or whatever. Because like El said, and you both said, not only did he hide the baby, but obviously the interaction with the friend didn't go well at all. So at that point, Patty had said, no, this relationship's over. I don't see us moving forward, because those are two huge things that I wasn't expecting to happen, and they've changed the trajectory of the relationship. But she wasn't doing that. She was basically saying, listen, okay, well, you can beg and grovel and we'll see how it goes. And that's why he kept coming back saying, are you going to give it 100%? And she's like, no, I'll try it, but for now, you just stay over there, and I'm going to go enjoy drinks with my friends. So it's ironic that he's the one that actually lost his cool and decided, okay, you know what, I'm calling it quits. It's done.
Right. He wanted to bow out. He was the first one that wanted to bow out. I felt like that was a lot of his ego, though, too. JR, tell me, what did you think when the housemates, I won't say friends, the housemates were working I started to say JR on Clay, trying to get him to understand that she's upset. She's saying things that she doesn't necessarily mean. You need to sleep on it. Don't respond to her. You're reacting to her reacting, and the two of you are reacting, and you're not really getting any understanding of one another, and you're not communicating well. What did you think of that when the housemates were trying to, it seemed, to help Tati keep Clay? What did you think about that?
Yeah, it seemed like they were just trying to keep him in the house and stop him from leaving. I also think that was production that told them guys to rally around him like that.
Okay, yeah.
But
I can see that.
Yeah, but I think they just wanted to keep some drama and some mess in the house, basically. Like, I don't think they really cared about Tati in that moment. She was saying what she said, she actually meant. All right. She wasn't.
Which part of it? Because one part of it, she said when he was saying he was about to go, she was saying, "But no, it's possible."
Exactly.
They both were flip flopping. She said he was flip flopping, but actually they both were flip flopping.
Yeah, because again, like you said, her deal breaker isn't the fact that he's got kids. She didn't care about that. Her deal breaker is more to do with the friend and boundaries and things like that. And
Okay.
even still, she was prepared to still make the relationship work, but give her time to cool down. Basically, keep coming back to apologize, and when she eventually cools down, then she may change her mind. And he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that."
Well, he didn't have to keep coming back to apologize. See, that's the thing I think men don't understand about a lot of women. We don't need you to keep coming back, especially when first of all, let's do this. When the apology A is insincere, it's not sincere, and B, when the apology is not specific. If you're not specifying what it is you're apologizing for to me, I don't even want to hear it. You saying I'm sorry, that doesn't mean nothing to me. You saying you're sorry and then expressing what it was that you did that you're sorry for and you're repentant for, that means something. But no, it's not. I don't think that she wanted him to keep coming back apologizing, JR. I felt like she just wanted him to give her a little bit of space to process her emotions. All of this happened in one day. And right away we're in it. We're in it. The friend is jumping up on top of you. We're in it that the friend is a porn star. We're in it that, oh yeah, by the way, I got a 3-month-old baby. All of this is hitting her at the same time. It's almost like he has no empathy for her. Like he doesn't understand. Like if the roles had been reversed and he had found out that she had a 3-month-old baby that she had hidden from him, and her best friend, who's a guy, handsome, tall, dark, comes in and he's all over her and swinging her around in a big old bear hug, how would that have felt to him?
Mm-hmm. You're right. He wasn't thinking about her feelings at all in the sense where he's trying to put himself in her position. Seemed like he was just trying to say, listen, it happened. Let's just move past it. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
And you're right. That didn't give her the time needed to even clear her mind and gather her thoughts, cool down, and make a rational decision. Like her first reaction was obviously anger, and then the second reaction was pettiness to say, you can sit over there, don't come over here, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, very petty. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just looked like he was like, no, it's not gonna go like that. So it's either you forgive me and we move on straight away, like nothing happened, or we call it quits.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh Elsie, did you have anything else you wanted to add to what we were saying about the housemates and whatnot?
For me, the housemates are, it's kind of dicey. I keep saying these are strangers. These are people that don't know you. But even if you get information from them, you got to decipher through it, because it's like, how can you, in one end, it's kind of hard. You've known someone for 5 or 6 months, and then you're trusting people you've known a week more than you trust them. Granted, Clay is not the person to put all your trust in. I understand that. But even if you're taking people's word for it, you take it with a little bit of salt. Make sure you're looking at it and looking at him on the side, but don't go off the handles. But the house guests are in everybody's business, and I guess that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a NeverEverMets where somebody rather go with another house guest rather than the one they came to meet. That's what I'm waiting for. And I'm not going to get it this season.
We might see that.
We may not. We may, or we may not, because we got to come down to that part too. And I'm glad you brought us there, because let me go ahead and put this up. So we get to all this going on. There's other people and other things going on. We got Brittany and Kiki sitting on the sofa in the living room or one of the many community rooms, and they're sitting on separate couches. And Brittany is asking Kiki, have her and Brandon slept together yet? Kiki replies, no, not yet. We haven't slept together, but we are being much more affectionate, as witnessed when they were on the couch laying together. And so then Kiki says, well, do you think you will soon? And Brittany basically says, no, I'm not feeling him like that. So that's not going to happen. So does anybody feel like I do that Brittany's just not that into she's just not that into this guy?
She's not into him at all. She's into the service, the acts of service that she's looking for from him. But other
Okay.
than that, nothing else.
She don't want him. She want the crab legs. She wants the massages and refilling her drink. She needs to hire a butler because what she don't want is Ty, and she don't want all of that other stuff because she's just willing to talk to everyone except Ty. Ty is now making her breakfast, and it's still, I'm not saying he should gain access to her, but it doesn't seem to be warming her up to him. I
No.
mean, it seems to be like, oh, you should have been doing this. It just, no, the lack of appreciation there, even if he is now doing what you want him to do, throw him a little kernel so he knows to continue to do it, and there'll be some appreciation. The man have to practically beg for a little kiss now. He shouldn't be asking for the other appendage, tongue, but he had to basically be asking for some show of affection.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Kiki,
and as you
we
pointed
see
out,
Kiki.
Just a sign of appreciation. Thank you. Hey, babe, you really went out of your way for this. And speaking of that, they're in the car. And what is the one thing that does anybody notice something very interesting about this couple in quotations? JR?
Yeah, the distance. Like he seems like he's looking to try and hold her hand or put his hand near hers or her leg or something. And she's kind of like,
Meh.
yeah. Brittany, the other thing that happened, obviously, is they're on their way to his apartment now. So
Right.
not only is he now prioritizing her based on the feedback that she gave him and the fallout they had before, he's trying to switch it up now. And then an intimate setting like he's home, even if you're not going to go to the boom boom room or whatever, he's taking you to his home
Right.
to make you feel comfortable with him, see where he lives and all that type of stuff, and spend some intimate time together there. And that still didn't move the needle. So yeah, she ain't feeling him. She needs to just let him go, and both of them can pack up and leave.
Okay.
See, right down the street, it ain't gonna take him long to pack up and just head home. But somebody said he should have dropped her off at the door and gone right back home. But that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But again, he made sure her favorite drink was there. He had a menu written up. He did put some effort into it,
He did. He actually did.
I was checked about, the size of his apartment, and that living in LA is quite expensive, and his apartment could be quite expensive. My thing is, I didn't hear the ventilation fans running for all that seafood and that garlic carrying on, but she seems to like she wants the service. She wants a butler, but she doesn't want the boyfriend aspect.
She wants a butler. Oh Lord.
She does. She doesn't want
chef.
him. Exactly. Butler, chef, make sure my drink is filled, make sure I have my crab legs and rub my feet, and then otherwise don't touch me. But I could touch everybody else. Okay.
Right.
And that's where we're going next, because
we're gonna get there. Give a few more seconds on this though. I got a few more seconds.
Okay.
Comments on this thing right here though. Like, yeah, she's not into him at all. At all. Not into him.
She's not. And here's the thing. He's cooking, right? He's cooking not just crab legs. He's putting, side dishes too. And he asked her to make a drink, and her favorite drink is there. And it's like, I don't need to do anything. And that to me was like, okay, Brittany, you could at least make the drinks, fix him a drink. That is the least you could do in this. You're not asked to be his sous chef. You're not asked to be his assistant. But at least you could do is like, hey, since my favorite drink is here, thank you, babe. Here's a glass. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, we didn't see her do any of that. Now, whether that happened or not, because we know these are edited scenes, but we didn't really see that. And here's the thing, too. I'm going to say this: whether we saw that or not, since we didn't see that, I felt like you're right, El Cid and JR. I felt like the vibe she had was very much like I am queen and you will serve me. and I don't have to be grateful because I'm a queen and that's what the way queens are treated. And I didn't like that. I
Mm,
really
It's your
didn't like that.
privilege to serve me.
A privilege.
mhm,
Yeah, exactly. Very such a air of entitlement. There you go, El said. An air of entitlement. Um, Bad
mm.
wants to ask us, did anyone else clock that when he admitted during the Never Have I Ever game that he was with someone of the same sex and tried to cover it up by saying that it was his father? Does his father count?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
we clocked it, but
mhm.
because I immediately thought, what?
Like Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yeah, the Jamaican in me was like, what? But
Couple
yeah,
of men on here I'm questioning, Babs, to just answer your question. It's a couple of men on here I'm really questioning, but I'm not supposed to question. I'm supposed to accept it as is. So whatever.
mm.
I
Brit-
don't.
Brittany's attitude is wow her, woo her, and win her over because she's not feeling him yet. So keep doing stuff, and then she might eventually change her mind on him.
Is she ever gonna feel him? That's the question.
I don't think so, but she's still going to make him try and give him some sense of hope so that he keeps trying. And then ultimately, I think she's already lost interest and is,
Yeah,
yeah, we're
it's a
going to come to,
It's a wrap. I mean, if
yeah.
you see somebody in person and you've been talking to them for months and you've gotten to know each other and you felt like you had a vibe, and she even says it in this episode. She says, the chemistry that we had online, we do not have in person. And I'm waiting to try to get that back. But I feel like this. I feel like if it's been a week and a half, whatever, I feel like that's enough time. You've been on a couple of dates, you've been around each other, you've been in the kitchen cooking together, vibing together. Like, what more do you need? You either like this dude or maybe you don't.
Yeah. And that's the
And it,
same
and it,
thing. That's the same thing Chris said about Alexis as well. Like the online relationship is better than in person meeting. And he got a lot of heat for that. But that's exactly how Brittany's been treating Ty as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Like what Chris said. Yeah, it was much better online. Absolutely. Elsie, you were going to say?
for me, it's okay if you don't like him. It's okay. It's okay at this point. You can at least tell him. Y'all could have, the cameras aren't on all the daggone time. You could at least had a conversation with him and say, hey, this really ain't working out. Let's continue with this and collect a paycheck and, just don't do too much. That's it. That's it. You can have a conversation if
Mm-hmm.
you're not intending to be with this man. But don't, lead him astray. But he's kind of picking up on it.
Yeah.
The little that's why I keep saying, even though people were talking about Ty is picking up on it from the massage. She's like, oh, she don't moan and groan like that when I'm trying to give her a massage. He picking up on a whole bunch of stuff. And
Right.
like he said, oh,
Yeah.
you give me a kiss, you giving me a half a kiss. Oh, you ain't gonna hold my hand.
Yeah.
He's
Now
making a log.
that part, yeah, because he said, "Oh, you giving me a kiss during the date, right?" When she said, "Oh, I don't need any sugar on the rim of my glass because I'm already sweet enough," and he says, "Well, let me find out." She kept that grin while she was kissing him, and them teeth was tight together. She was like, "Oh no, you're not getting in this mouth." Oh heck no. Mm-mm.
And that's before the garlic.
That's before the garlic. And wait a minute. What? Okay, so now, Jr., take us to the part. We're in the kitchen. Talk about that. Where how friendly she was with another gentleman.
Yeah, it was Cinco. She was tickling Cinco, being playful and tickling Cinco.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's much more than what she's given Ty. I don't think we've seen her playful with Ty like that at all. So she's showing Cinco this more playful side, and that's not even her man. So that's another indicator to me that her attention shift from Ty. And the other thing is, look how close proximity this is to Ty. It's another guy in the house.
Yeah,
So
they were all standing in the kitchen together. I saw Ty. I didn't see really a reaction that he had, but then I also saw. Did you guys notice that Jay was over by the sink in the kitchen, and she was
mhm.
looking And Jay was, she was,
Mm-hmm.
her fist was starting to close up. Like
Mhm.
Jay didn't like that. Not only are you flirting with somebody that's not your man, but you're flirting with somebody that is someone else's man, and they're right behind you. Like what?
Mhm.
Here's the thing. I want to go further with Miss Brittany. Cinco was telling her to stop
Yep,
tickling
yep,
me,
he
and
did.
she would not listen when he says no and is not giving her consent. Yet
Mhm.
Exactly, exactly.
Here's
Consent.
Ty trying
Mhm.
to kiss her, and she's like, you ain't getting no more. And he's listening to her, and he backed up. So
Right.
again, Miss Brittany, in this instance, I'm like, Brittany is not, adhering to personal space with other people, and don't be getting yourself into trouble with Jay, trying to poke your fingers at her
Mhm.
man.
That's true. That is a true statement. JR, you have anything you want to add to the whole ick of it
Mm.
all?
Yeah, I don't know if Britney was. No, I can't even say that. I was going to say I don't know if she was fully aware of what she was doing, but she was. She
Yeah.
was not inebriated. She wasn't intoxicated.
Mm-mm.
She knew that Cinco is not Thai. So why is she doing that in the first place? She got no reason to put her hands on another man in the house. Just like how, just like how we saw the explosion between Clay and Tati with a friend getting over friendly.
Mhm.
She risked that happening with Jay in the house. Like Jay seeing someone get over friendly with Cinco, she could have easily blown up over that. So
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, listening to Jay, she says Cinco ain't the only one. So she got, Brittany got her fingers and hands all over other people, just not Ty.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And, and sooner or later, if he hears or sees these things, then he needs to realize that she's not for him because he's probably going to get a bit angry about that. Because he's like, you've been pushing me away or keeping me at distance, but yet you're overly flirting and friendly with these other men. What's that about?
That's a
So what's the
conversation.
difference?
That's a
What's the difference?
conversation. What's the difference? Go ahead, Elsit.
Ty is out here trying to feed the whole house, and she's out here trying to tickle half the house. I
Right.
mean, she wants the attention, but she's giving her attention. Clearly, we see to other people rather than Ty.
Exactly. And the other thing is, while Ty is cooking, why are you not helping? Because it's meant to be a couple's task. And even as his girlfriend, show that you can be a helpmate and help him. Why are you just allowing him to stand there and cook for all them people? Um, but then again, if he volunteered to do it, then maybe that's a get out. But while he's cooking, you shouldn't be tickling other dudes. That's
Right.
absurd.
That's kind of crazy. We got all we going to get out of these two for right now. We're going to come back to them a little bit later. But now we got to get to the counseling session. So the Dr. Ali, wants to know if Clay and Tati plan to try to fix this relationship or are they done? And in this, she asked them questions like, when you first came here, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your expectation and your excitement was to meet each other? And Clay says it was a 10, and Tati says it was a 7, and now it's a 3.
Petty,
Hmm?
petty.
Being petty. Okay. Okay.
Is it petty or is she hurt?
That part. That
Both.
part. I think she was hurt. I think I actually agree with both of you. I think she was hurt, but I think maybe with JR, and JR, you correct me, I could totally be wrong. I think what JR is also saying, though, it was tactless for her to say that in that moment. If you're trying to repair things, why do more damage with your words?
Correct. You can be hurt. You have a right to be hurt. But then you made the choice to be petty rather than try and solve the problem about why you're hurt. That's what the therapist is there for. To
Hmm.
to kind of help you talk this situation through. But you're trying to score petty points by saying, yeah, I wasn't really interested, 7, and now it's a 3 because of what I found out. When he's giving you flowers and love bombing you and everything, I'm sure it was a 10.
Oh yeah, when she was sitting at the table the night before they went to the boom boom room, it was on 10. It was on 11.
Exactly. And when she's sitting on his lap, driving back home from whatever excursion they were on, they were kissing and canoodling, and
hot and heavy.
Yeah, they've been probably the most hot and heaviest couple, without actually going to the boom boom room and sealing the deal. They've done a lot of kissing, hugging, and touching, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we missed a whole lot with the Dr. Ali session because she has done, more in her previous sessions with other couples, and I feel like how they spliced and diced this was a little lackluster for me.
It was.
But she did hit on some gems that his coping mechanism is to freeze. When things become too overwhelming, he freezes and just doesn't make a decision and doesn't do anything. So, and he said he can own up to his, F up. And I'm like, Clayton, why mess up in the first place?
Right.
Why do that? And then you find yourself in a coping way, to freeze. But she said she was hurt, upset, and her anger is to protect herself. And, she gave him a chance. She let her walls down, and he's playing in her face. And I'm like, okay, Tatiana, we see that. We understand that. I understand your anger is at yourself, but you are also lashing out. How do we learn from this so that we're not back here letting the walls down? Because I think Tatiana didn't listen to her gut, because the first date she knew. The first date footage we saw, she wasn't giving him the kiss. She wasn't going to fall for it. And in a week, he kind of wore her down. And I wonder if she's like, I knew something, I felt something, but I didn't trust myself. So, but if you're willing to work on the relationship, she's got to be able. I wish Dr. Ali had talked about, but what does that mean for each of you? What does working on this relationship mean? And I think she did, and I think we just didn't get to see it.
We didn't get it. Also, we didn't really talk, once again, anticlimactic. We didn't really talk about or hear. We didn't see them talk about the situation with the baby. That he has a 3-month-old baby that he never told her about till just now, till today. Like, how did Tatiana feel about that? And I think she said that, she had been open and vulnerable with him, and now she's hurt again. For him, he talked about having PTSD and coming back from the military and being, deployed, but he didn't really tie it into, well, why are you lying? What does that have to do with you lying? I got a whole bunch of military friends and family members, and dude, that just ain't cool for you to blame that on the military. That's the reason why you're lying, and this is your mechanism. So you're right, Elsie. Maybe that could be part of his defense mechanism, but it's really not a good one. It's going to keep him. The other thing he said, he likes peace. He likes peace. And the doctor said, well, you know what? When I hear somebody say they like peace, that's oftentimes someone that's also avoidant of the important conversations. What did you think about that, Elsie?
Dr. Ali is correct. He does avoid the important conversations. And peace doesn't always mean that. I think they cut it out for her, that it could mean that you either avoid a conversation or you are a person that can go through the fire to the peace. But again, I just think that with Clay, it's not the military. This was before the military. It could be, and again, I don't know this man. It's based off the footage we've seen. It could be that Clay always wanted to be seen in a favorable light, and anything he does or is a part of that is not seen as favorable, that he's going to try and lie away to make himself look good. And who's to say, and again, I don't know this man, it could be going into the military is to make him look favorable. Every time you see somebody in the military, what do we say? Thank you for your service. We always look at them and see them in a different light.
Oh, I
so sure again,
I sure do.
Exactly. So it could be, I hate to say it, the military uniform is another layer, another mask in order for him to get the adoration that he's looking
Mm,
for from other people.
that's deep. I never thought of it that way. JR, what do you think?
Yeah, could definitely be some of that. Um, but the actual thing I think is wrong with Clay is it's not just the fact that he wants peace, it's how he goes about trying to get it. You can't hide a secret like a child and expect there to be peace afterwards. No way. Like, if you wanted peace, you would have let her know that as soon as you found out. Because look, going by the timeline, he did. It wasn't as if he knew that this girl was pregnant the whole way through. It was kind of like she came back into his life and told him that he was the father of the child. So even with that surprise and shock value, you share that with Tatiana as soon as you know. Um, so yeah, he created carnage, not peace, um, and that's on him. If you want peace, you have to try and do things in a tactful way to try and take the sting out of any anger that might come your way. But you can't hide your kids. That's crazy.
And I think Tatiana would have understood if they had talked about this even before. I think if in the beginning of their relationship, because if and this is a big yay wide if, we're to believe what he said, and it's a big if, that in before or early stages of talking to her, they may not have been exclusive yet. And it may be that, hey, my ex-fiance has come, return, and she is pregnant. I don't know if it's mine or somebody else's. And they could have gone through that journey together. I don't think Tatiana would have necessarily dropped him, but she seems to be someone who may appreciate the whole honesty.
And I think you're right in your comment on in the chat, El Cid. It could
No,
have been either piece. It could have been. When he said he went peace, it could have been either one of
right
those.
here. Yeah. Peace over. Yes. Yes. He likes his peace. You're right. He likes his yams, as JR would say. He likes his yams and he likes clapping them cheeks. That's the peace he was talking about. A
Yeah,
piece
he
of
wants peace.
mm,
I ain't leaving here with nothing. I'm leaving here with
right,
something.
right. It's a vacation for some of these guys, and it's also like mm, I can't say that on YouTube, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I
We
don't
know.
understand it. Like, I think it's a game for both Clay and Jared. It's a game to come here and smash and know that they really have no serious intentions at all. And that's why for the women, we've got to start looking at ourselves and saying, what are we doing? And are we really collecting data? Are we just letting them serve us and pamper us and tell us sweet nothings, whisper sweet nothings in our ear, give us flowers, and then we just throw down the drawers? Why? Why?
But it depends on the woman as well, because Charlie is down to hit the boom boom room.
Well, yeah, she's got 4 kids. We know she likes to hit the boom boom room.
Exactly. And Tati isn't. There's still some. Let's hold back some of it. Like, let's do some stuff, but let's not go the whole way. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, she
So
was trying to build a connection. She was taking her time. We'll cuddle. She set her boundaries. We can, go a little bit further. And look, it took her, this, I'll say, a week and a half. We don't know how long this is. A week and a half to let her walls down and to be able to try to trust this man. But it's been annihilated. And she says she's more angry at herself. But I don't think she has much to be angry at herself. She did take her time. She was playing with the cards he dealt her, and the
Mhm.
hand he dealt her was a lying hand.
It definitely was a joker for sure. It was definitely full of a joker. I mean, like, just tell the truth. And sometimes you'd be surprised that somebody will still like you and be willing to work through whatever concerns you have that you think they won't like, they'll be willing to work through it with you, because I'm sure there's things about her, like he said. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to put. He kept saying this, and this drove me mad. He kept saying, I'm not perfect. Dude, nobody thought you was perfect, okay? Nobody thought you was perfect, but how about you just tell the truth? Quit deflecting. Was I the only one
But
that felt that way? Like he was deflecting?
he wants to be seen as perfect. He wants to be perfect for you. Again, he seems to me of also late bloomer. That's why the friend got to tell him to buy flowers. But it
Mm.
seems to me that he just wants to be seen as perfect. He wants to be seen as the hero in your eyes. And
Ah,
he's not doing things for that. You know, the thing is, if you want that kind of withdrawal from your girl for her to look at you got to pour into her. You got to do the things that will make her see you as such. And starting with a lie, that foundation is already ruined.
yeah.
Mhm.
That is so true. That is so true. Um, Again, I don't have this photo for this, but I'm not sure with production or with the show why, when we had Tati's mom come into town, into the house, why we didn't also have someone. Oh, I'm sorry, we did have Clay's best friend. I'm sorry, but we move over to, we've got Chris and Brittany. Chris has his friend to come in and talk, and Brittany has her friend. Now,
Alexis.
when hmm,
Alexis.
uh, I'm sorry, Alexis. What did I say?
Brittany.
Brittany. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Alexis. Okay, so Lexi and Chris. So when Chris friend sits down with Lexi, he tells her, you know what? It's not about somewhere or something different. It's about your mouth. I started to see red. JR, what did you think when he said that? Was that okay?
No, he could have used better verbiage. What Chris actually said was she's controlling, like the 10-year age gap between them. Um, their communication isn't working well because she seems to be controlling, and the lack of boundaries that he's expressed before. So how the friend articulated that, and it's now secondhand information, his delivery was terrible. It didn't get a hostile response per se, but Chris didn't say it was her mouth. He said that she's, the age gap makes her controlling. And then the friend did seem kind of pleasant at the same time, even though he used the wrong word. So I don't think she took offense to it because of that.
And they the four of them came together, and they seemed to have really like you said, it seemed to be a good meeting. They seem to have all gotten something out of it. They seem to have wanted to hear what their family member friend had to say. What did you think about it, Elsie?
Um, okay. So it seemed like Alexis and her friend Maya, I believe that's her name. Maya was bringing Alexis supplies. I was like, again, what you said before, actually, Aubrey. It seemed like Alexis on that list of names who just want to be here to hit it. You know,
Yep.
the way she's like, "Hey, I brought you your protection." I was like, "Girl, that's what we talking about?" It's like, how has Chris been treating you? How has interacting and living with him been? There's so many other things you could talk about. And then Alexa saying she never had to work this hard for a young boy. Young lady. Young lady. Is that all you want? Just a young how many young boys we talking about in this stable? What are we talking about? But I think, yes, I agree with you. Shantu, his friend, used the wrong verbiage. I think he could have said, it's your words, it's your word choice, it's your controlling demeanor. Just let him be, his grown self. He could have used that stuff, but he did kind of, pat it over by saying, bring out more of your feminine energy. You
Yeah.
know, I could see that, but both friends say y'all could try and make this work. I don't know how, but the two friends left there saying y'all y'all gonna work it out.
I almost forgot that you just reminded me. I almost forgot. What did you guys think about Chris telling her that telling us that he would like for her to be more fit? What did you think about that?
So,
JR, our fitness expert on hand, on deck. What do you think?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that something to tell your woman? Like, babe, you know what? I think you need to get in that gym a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's not the way to tell her that at all. He says he's into fitness and all that stuff, and in the clip we see him doing some boxing or something like that. Yeah, there's a tactful way to do it. You don't do that because you don't know how many insecurities she may have or how she feels about herself. So to say that was crazy. But yeah, if a tactful way is okay, I'm heading to the gym. It's part of my lifestyle, part of my routine. If you want in, you can come with me and we can make it a couples that train together thing, and then explain the benefits. Listen, you get to sculpt and shape your body, and after 6 weeks, you'll be wearing that bikini for me on the beach and da 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 da. But nah, he didn't use tact at all on that one.
Right.
You know what? Chris don't like. Let's all get real right here. Raise your hand if you think Chris likes this woman. Chris don't like this woman. He don't like her. He don't like her at all.
I don't think anybody is going to raise their hand, to be honest.
Yeah,
he doesn't like her. It's them. He lost attraction from very early when she didn't listen to his boundaries about touching his groin and writing on him and all these different things. That task on the first week or whatever that was when he realized, no, this is going to be a problem. But rather than actually address the issue and say, okay, I'm going to have to bow out because I don't think we're a match, I can't understand why they're still there. He's not attracted to her like that. And she's already getting frustrated when she said, I've never had to work this hard for a younger man before. She's expecting Chris to see her as a cougar. And Chris is kind of like not seeing her like that at all right now.
Yeah.
So
he called her a tiger, and he laughed about it. I also want to know, Elsia, what did you think the way that he told his friend about her age and the way he kind of cackled? How did you feel about that? Because I felt a certain way, but I want to see what you were feeling or thinking.
You see, when I listen to Chris sometimes, I'm like, does Chris even believe what is coming out of his mouth? That's what I sometimes think. But yes, the way he was talking about her age, it sounded like, when guys in their 20s are talking about the woman in their 30s that they dating or they smashing. It sounded like that kind of juvenile thinking and thought process. And I was like, oh, you don't really want to be with her forever. You just want to be with her for a moment. You just go write this out for the footage and to be on the show. Okay. But yeah, the way he talked about it, I was like, yeah, it's very juvenile. It was not mature, not at all, grown man conversation. It was just like, ugh. It's like the young buck who was like, dang, this is the oldest lady I've been with kind of conversation. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Ms. Wilson tells us, you know what, her thought on it. She said that Alexis has a high bar to reach to be with Chris. Do you agree with that, JR?
A high bar to reach to be with Chris.
Is that, I'm thinking, I don't know, and you drop down in the chat and let me know, Ms. Wilson. I'm thinking that she means that from just definitely from an aesthetics perspective, like physicality. Like Chris said, he thought that she could be more physically fit. We look at Chris and he's tall and slender. And he's certainly easy on the eye, but when he opened his mouth, oh Lord.
Yeah, he puts his foot right in it.
Right in it.
Yeah.
It's got to be the look because he can't even spell Bailey, so it couldn't be mental.
He can't even spell purple. He can't even spell purple. Terrible.
Yeah, okay, so you don't think it's a high, you do or you don't think it's a high bar to reach for Alexi?
To reach
No,
a level of physical fitness, yes. If it's physical fitness.
Okay. What if it's just simply aesthetics?
You see, I
Because
don't
let's
think
be
Chris is
honest,
cute.
people can be slender and not necessarily be physically fit
or
Yeah, they
healthy.
can. Hmm.
or healthy, right?
Yeah, but listen, I mean, let's not get it twisted. Chris is with Elise, Alexis, not Kiki. So she could put the work in, and if she wanted to, and adapt to a more healthy lifestyle if she wanted to. But if she doesn't see anything wrong, she's not going to do it. You know, and she shouldn't do it just because he wants her to. She needs to do it for herself.
Mm. Truer words have never been spoken. Do it for yourself. Okay, so we move on. Um, in this scene, we've got Ty and Brittany coming back from this wonderful dinner that he's cooked for her, and the drinks that he's made. Everything was just like her favorite thing. And we've got Jared. Jared is like saying, "How did it go? What happened, man?" He pulls him to the side. Did you smash? Did you smash? And then she's talking to the ladies and she's saying, "Did nothing happen? We didn't even, we just kissed a little bit. That was it." And you got Charlie saying, "Well, dang, what was the point? What was the point to be at this man's house alone in private and y'all didn't do nothing physical?" What do you think about it, Elsie?
I want to know where he got the to-go boxes to bring back to the house. I just, I was like, but the thing is that you didn't even, even if you didn't smash, and that is her prerogative. If she does not wish to share herself with this man, she didn't know what this date would entail. She did not know any of that. So for Charlie to say all that, I think that was foolishness. She didn't know where she was going or what she was going to be doing. Now, was Ty hopeful? Probably so. But the thing is, basically you went to his house. It was your personal intimacy suites, and y'all could at least be, teens on the couch, just hanging out, and at least cuddle to get more physical touch without an audience of the whole house. But what is the point? I think Charlie needs to focus on what's the point of her relationship with Jared rather than Brittany's. What is the point with Ty?
Mm, okay. Okay. Okay.
I agree with that. Sometimes on these shows, you see these couples get too invested in other people's relationship, take their eye off the ball of their own relationship, and then it all comes crashing down because they weren't attentive enough. And that's what I think is going to happen with Charlie and Jared.
Well, the fact too that Jared is basically already saying that, you know, he's got to tell her the truth. He's got to
Mm-hmm.
tell her the truth. He's got to let her know she ain't the one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was interesting. So we got getting back to
Oh no.
it took me a while to like. I wish I had a magic marker to circle around Clay on this table because does anybody else see what I see?
The plumber's crack, yes.
Girl, I was like, don't he have some briefs on, or is he just swinging au natural? What's going on here? Like
What's
what?
going on is he gained some weight and the clothes failed to remind him as such and tell him, bruh, we don't fit like we used to.
Nah, we don't fit like we used to. These two are trying to talk it through, talk it out. But she's telling him, like, look, I just can't give you 100% right now. And this man says, what? If you can't give me 100%, then this ish ain't worth it. You know what? He's looking for every out he can find. What do you think, JR?
Yeah, he is, because he doesn't want to continually have to apologize or draw her off. But yeah, I'm not surprised you noticed the builder's bum, Aubrey.
The
The
builder's
behind
bum. Is
cleavage.
that how they say it across the pond? The
Yeah,
builder's
they call it the builder's bum. Not surprised you noticed that. I didn't even see that till you just pointed that out. That's crazy. But
What?
yeah,
Sorry.
listen. What? Who do I look like? You think I'm looking at At
Yeah,
that,
I don't think JR is looking at his bum. He's over there looking at her legs.
Exactly.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, JR, you were
Was
saying?
he?
I'm here. Like, so yeah, I'm saying it doesn't look like um, he knows that he was exposed in that way. Um, I don't think he cognitively sat down on the table knowing his butt was going to be out in front of her. But yeah, that was
I'm
crazy.
sorry. Objection. I'm sorry. Does it echo?
Hold on, I'm going to get rid of it, but can you keep talking? I'll get rid of it.
Okay. So I'm sorry. As someone who is a part of the plus size delegation, as is Clay. Okay.
A beautiful plus size, may we add.
Thank you. When your shirt rises above and you have skin showing, you feel it. Okay. Even if you feel the draft from the room, which the AC is on, or you feel that the shirt is high up, you feel it. That's why we always have to make sure our shirts are a little bit longer or a little bit looser so that they will hang down, or at least you will pull it down to make sure you're not exposed. So I'm sorry, whether he know or not, he is part of the plus size delegation. My eldest is plus size, and I remind him, and he knows. Check to make sure when you're getting out the car that everything is covered.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, like I said, I really didn't pay attention. I thought it was another hole on the pool table, but um,
Oh my God.
but
It is. It is.
It
it
definitely
is. Yeah.
is. It definitely is a hole. Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, the way it's rolled up as well, that's crazy. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, regardless of how he's perched on the table and what he's showing us, um, this was, I think, his idea of make or break with Tati in this conversation. You know, are you in or out? And
Right.
yeah, I just don't think I don't think he's serious enough about wanting to mend the relationship properly. I think he just wants a speedy recovery and for her to kind of overlook everything and then continue on. And that's not going to happen. She's not that type of person. And it's kind of unrealistic of him to and unfair of him to expect her to do that.
Yeah. I hear you when you say that. And I'm glad you said that because earlier on, JR, I thought you were really in agreement with him that she should just hurry up and forgive him and move on. And I don't understand, like, people, you choose to do these things. You chose to lie to her about your child. You chose to accept the hug that the young lady was giving your best friend or whatever, when you could have kind of like took her by her waist. You're strong and big enough, and kind of like given her more of a church hug or whatever, or just a brief hug. I think the fact that they hugged so long, it wasn't even that, the fact that, to Miss Iffy's point about she never did wrap her legs all the way around him, but I think the fact that they hugged so long and they hugged so much, like, what? They were walking past the window when the girls were talking, and Clay was hugged up with her, and Tati was saying to the girls, he didn't even think enough of me to come after me and try to explain or try to calm me down. Instead, he went off with his best friend.
Well, he's kind of removing, the person that is, causing you distress. So while I could see her as seeing it as he's preferring his best friend over her, I think in some sense, removing the person that is annoying your significant other is the correct course of action, and then come back to her and say, hey, she's no longer here. Let's talk about this. I thought that was the best course of action, rather than the best friend still waiting outside while you go check on her. She gonna be mad that you now got to leave her to go back to the best friend. I think it was, whether it was production that suggested, I don't think he thought of it on his own, but to remove the person that is angering his lady, and as such. And I think what JR was saying was correct. Clay wants you to flip a switch, forgive him, and get back to the hugs and cuddles that we had from yesterday. And she needs time. She's got to digest this with your friend. The phone call. Well, the phone call is before this, after this. But she also got to take into consideration you have a child. You also did not mention, so she needs time. And I agreed with her at the time. She needs to sleep on it and see how she, can fit this into her life the next day. But he wants to still, be upset because she's like, well, we ain't sleeping together. It's like, did you really think, Clay, that we was going to be cuddled up after all this today? Where's he What is he thinking other than selfish?
Everything, right? Everything is about, and the other thing that came to me on this episode, I finally really started to see Clay for who he really is. Not only, I like the point that you made earlier, El Cid, about him wanting to be a hero in everybody's eyes and being a people pleaser. But I think also he kind of clings to victimhood all the time. Like everything was about him. Well, you said this, that you're not going to give it 100%. And then, he had the nerve at one point. Do you guys recall he said this? He said, I just don't want you to waste my time. You know what?
Right.
He's lucky I wasn't her in that moment, because you know what? I would have committed physical violence at that moment, because what are you talking about? You have a whole child that you knew was coming, and you talking about me wasting your damn time? What the?
Well, I don't think you would have resorted to violence in that breath, especially with the cameras running. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Because I would have gotten out a lot sooner. I really would have. I would have gotten out a lot sooner. The debate they had about the veganism and him eating the meat, I would have been out. I would have been out, because you can start to see that he's building up lies. And the way everybody was laughing at Tati at the dinner table and they kept trying to drop hints, I would have been out before we got to this point. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, he committed all of his offenses way before this. That this is the icing on the cake. But again, everybody tried to tell her. Everybody tried to tell her through the little games, through all the other things that was happening. They tried to give her little kernels, but she was I can't remember, Stand By Your Man. That's that song.
Yeah.
She was doing that. And in all of this, you still have a sense of the person electronically.
Yes.
And you're finding out if you can truly trust them. And I think, as Tatiana said, she's more mad at herself. But I wouldn't Tatiana, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, because he lied to you. There's no way in this kind of setting would you know. Because Clay could have been lying to the other people to make himself look like the cool kid or whatever. But there's no way for her to know truth from lie with him in this enclosed setting. She had her phone, or she could, check Instagram or whatever. Maybe she could, suss out his story. But again, he was lying to her. It's very hard for her to see beyond what he's saying in this kind of confined setting.
Yeah, I agree. She should not be angry. She should not be angry with herself, because for me, he was the one telling the lies. But I felt like there were different points in times when we see parts of her mindset, and I felt like it was almost like she was delusional. Like everything that she knew about him, or thought she knew from online, she accepted it as fact. And I think that's the worst thing people do with online dating, or any dating, just dating in person, is to accept a person that you don't know from a can of paint and has no one, a reliable source, not just someone, but a reliable source to vouch for them. No, they're not married. No, they don't have 10,000 kids all over the place. If you don't know this person and know somebody that knows them, anything they say, you take it for fact. I think that's kind of where we kind of fall down, because you got to do some research.
But also, Miss Iffy did raise an important point on IG. I think it was.
Okay.
Tati did say that she was only there to collect a check. after the friend incident. She said they get paid by episode or something like that. So
Oh, okay. I see. I found the
yeah,
comment put it up on the screen.
yeah. So she was only there to collect the check. She wasn't really feeling him after that anyway.
And it was interesting. Like somebody is saying, I think earlier in our chat and in the comments that Tati is allegedly a stripper, and I don't have any problem.
Yes, she is.
I don't have any problem with strippers. What I was gonna say, because I don't. But the fact that she was there to collect the check, I think it seems like most of them were there just to collect the check.
I don't think they've admitted that though. Where she had
collect the check and clap the cheeks. Those seem to be the two main reasons.
Yeah, but I think her admitting that that's what she was there for. There was no going back for Clay anyway. I don't know if she's a stripper, but she definitely puts herself very much out there on IG. And again, if I think that may have been one of the reasons she was so triggered by the friend. It's like they're both in adult entertainment services potentially. So yeah.
Oh, she was jealous.
There you go.
You're right.
Who has the biggest
laughing.
OnlyFans or fans only? You guys help me out. I always get it messed up. Is it OnlyFans or fans only? I don't know.
OnlyFans, but the thing is that's why the friend kept pushing the agenda of we're in different tax brackets. It's kind of like we're in the same industry but on different levels.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's why I said I kept listening to the friend on that phone call. The phone call friend to me was the vicious part of it.
She was the diabolical part. Yes, she was.
Yes.
And he had to know. Clay had to know that she's like that, because if he's known her since he was 7 or she was 7, he had to know this is the kind of mouth she has and this is the kind of strategic mind she has. She gonna light this lady up. He had to know that.
And the fact that the friend is going in on you tells you that he don't want to keep you, because there's no way he wants to keep you when his friend is disrespecting you.
Right. And he's allowing him to. More importantly, he didn't step in and say, hey, wait, whoa. This is my lady. Okay, you're my friend, but this is my lady. That's all he had to say.
Right. And the friend didn't go into how do you repair this relationship. She went into, this is not a good role model for your daughter.
For your daughter or your baby's mama. Because I got
Meanwhile, Clay is the problem.
Yeah, but also, how's the friend gonna say that when she does what she does? How is she a good role model for the daughter?
Oh, wow, okay.
And she's the godmother. So how is she?
Yeah, you're right. She is the godmother. Was the kid gonna be watching the porn anytime soon?
Now wait a minute now. Let me speak up for the friend and the ladies of the industry. Okay, the friend wasn't talking about that. The friend was talking about argumentative and wanting to start fights.
Confrontation.
It wasn't about the industry. Okay.
We haven't even had that conversation yet, because that's the next one, right? we'll get that next episode. Like, what? She is your child's godmother, but you're busy telling everybody her business that she's a porn star? Like, what? I mean, if that's my child's godmother and that was something she had done or was still doing, I don't think I would drop that in casual conversation. I just don't.
Exactly. I had one of my friends was a cafeteria lady at the school, and if I'm introducing her, I just say she worked for the school system. I never say what she does. That's for her to say.
Exactly.
Exactly. She's an entertainment. She's out here in Cali. Now, if you recognize her from her work, that's on you.
That's on you, right?
Very true.
Wait a minute.
But I would have liked to see if some of the men knew her.
That's what I was waiting. Well, Jared knows. Jared knows. Jared's probably looking at her like, yeah, I just watched your video last night.
And Chris too. Chris probably knows too.
He probably does. He probably does. But this couple. What can I say about this couple? We have had them go through.
No longer a couple.
Yeah, right. And it was funny to me too when Jared said, "Well, wow, they went through all that therapy and he still broke up with her." And I'm thinking to myself, I think I only saw one session. Now, what did we miss?
Yeah. But
What did
again,
we miss?
Jared is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, man. Like he, we from what we've seen, the couples alternate therapy sessions as the show goes on. It's not like
Yes.
you have continued treatment and constant check-ins. I think she just sits down with each couple week by week. So again, and he needs to sit down on that couch with the therapist himself, with
Oh
Charlie,
yeah.
so he can break. Yeah, so it's just more flares and diversions and avoiding getting down to the business that he needs to get down to in his own relationship. That's the one thing I've noticed with Chris and Jared
And Jared. Yep.
in
Yep.
particular.
Yep.
They are quick to mock and be messy and poke their nose in and giggle and kiki at other people's misery and their situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, like I'm not a fan of either of them new time.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see. So we've got, let me see if I have it. I think I may have it on deck here. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Um, good Lord. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how technical difficulties. Okay, so I don't have it. We're over now. We're moving over to the living room, and you've got Charlie and Jared, and you've got Brittany and Kiki. And Kiki is saying to them, like, you guys better not break up. You better stay together. And Jared is like, oh, I think I better tell her because she's saying like, oh, he's the best thing that ever happened to me. This is Charlie now talking about Jared. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's saying that publicly in front of the housemates. And Jared is, he's kind of basically telling us in confessional, I got to tell her the truth. Is Jared diabolical or not?
He is. But she said, "Do you think I'm gonna leave this man?" That's when he realized she's a stage 5 clinger, and if he don't cut it off,
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's what she said.
she gonna be like a barnacle under the side of the boat that you gotta scrape off. He realized, I got to get her claws out of me right now.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I think he also realized staying with her, maybe
Oh,
number
he,
7 come along, the
okay.
seventh Dalmatian. So he's just like, you know what? Let's get out of here before we get tied together and we add a new child to the mix as well.
And something interesting that we found out about Jared is that he had been married. He had been married
Yes.
and he was married for 3 years, and he basically said, I got tired. It was exhausting. Which
Hmm.
I wonder,
Mm-hmm.
which that's an interesting word that he used because somebody else used that word this episode. I believe it was Chris. And it seems like these men, they kind of rub off on each other. The bad mentality, the bad mindset, the player's mindset, or whatever you want to call it. Like he's saying he was exhausted. It sounded to me like, now he didn't say this, but it sounded to me like he was exhausted from being monogamous. Did anybody else have an idea what he was talking about? He was exhausted from?
I think he
I
was
think it
talking
was
about. No, go on, MC. You go.
go.
Yes.
I think he was talking about it was exhausting to have to, be on the up and up and probably please his wife. Maybe it was exhausting not being able to go out there slaying and dashing all over the place. But
Hmm.
for some people it can be emotionally exhaustive because they feel like they have to give, but so they have to give so much into relationship, or the relationship demands so much of them. You got to find your stride, and that tells me his picker is off. His picker's still off if he picking Charlie. So the diabolicalness for me was when her hand, just like you show in that picture, when her hand is on his chest and he looks down at that hand and then looks at her. I was like, oh no, I got to go. I got to escape. But he said he
Yeah.
will marry someone who does not exhaust him. And I'm sorry. all them kids, his 2 plus her 4, that's gonna be exhausting. Ain't no way.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going through the comments and trying to figure out what to put on screen. And Miss Iffy said, "Are condoms banned in the USA?" Girl, I think so. I think so. I think so, because people are dropping seeds and other people are having babies for random people. Like, what? What are we doing here?
It don't. This is not me. It don't feel right. I don't feel sensation or whatever. That's the things that people say. The
Oh
excuses
yeah,
are
the
they're
they're
allergic
saying.
to
I'm
right. They're
allergic
allergic
to
to
condoms.
latex. Right, but there
Yeah,
are
right.
non-latex versions. But hey,
Sure
it's
are.
either you wear this piece of plastic or you are buying formula, Pampers, diaper stuff, all these things and having to take care of this life until the end of your life, or wear this piece of plastic.
This is what
Exactly.
Latasha, this is what I used to tell men at the club. I used to say, you know what? Don't get too close. They say, you have any kids? I say, yeah, I got 10 at home. And then they say, what? And then I say, yeah. I said, don't get too close to me. I get pregnant real easily. It was my running joke. It was my running joke. I do not, by the way, have 10 kids at home. Okay.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but they were prophylactics in the boom boom room. They're there for the couples to use, and I think who was it? Chris that got given some
We
by
like 12
Alexa.
years too late. We like 13 months too late. And I know, yes, I know children are a blessing, but what I'm saying is these people need to be worried about making more babies, but some of them have already made a bunch of babies, and it's like, Charlie's got 4. And who
And
are they with? Were they with the ex-husband or
no, one of
I
them was
don't
the one
know.
night stand, right? So,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
but
They should be, Miss Iffy.
yeah, listen. The only thing Jared is correct on is how exhausting it can be if you're constantly trying to work on a situation, a relationship that involves constant servitude or whatever they call it, and um, if there's kids involved as well, it can get pretty exhausting. So those are where I agree with him. The fact of the matter is, he doesn't like Charlie in the way that she likes him. She's thinking long term, he's thinking short term, and he knows that. So he is diabolical, and he needs to just cut.
Tell her. Tell her
Yeah,
the
tell her
truth. 'Cause, I mean,
exactly.
apparently, if she'll sleep with a one night stand, it ain't gonna bother her if you say you just came to smash and dash. Or it may bother her, but she'll probably still do it with you anyway. So
Yeah, and especially as he was one of the people mocking Clay about his secret, and he's the one um, that told Charlie Clay's secret in the first place through pillow talk or whatever. He's the one who's been blabbing, and then Charlie's gone and told other people in the group. So Jared is diabolical. If he's so big on secrets and everything, he needs to fess up and tell Charlie um, what he actually feels about her, and tell her why as well. Yeah, do it tactfully. Don't just say, "Oh, you lied about your kids. It's going to be too exhausting for me chasing 6 little kids around." You know, don't do it so bluntly. I don't know how he's going to do it, but if he's big enough to mock Clay and be messy like that, then he needs to fix his own business first, in my opinion.
yeah, I think so. I think so. She needs to know his true feelings. Like, why couldn't he have told her his true feelings a while ago? And I know she said something about all I want is for you to just try. But when he realized that it was not his job to try with no 4 more kids to add on to his 2 already, when he realized and recognized that, do you guys think that he should have told her then?
No, she wouldn't have listened because he was trying to tell her. When she's like, "Well, I just want you to try," he realized she was shutting him down. She didn't want to hear him say, "This is too much for me," and that's what he was trying to convey. And she's like, "Well, you could just try. That's all I'm asking for you to just try." And he just was like, "You know what? Let me just try to stay here and see how much of this check I can collect. because I got child support at home. So, I mean, I just think that she kind of shut it down, wouldn't let him, exit stage right. But again, do we put this on the fact that she only had that baby 4 weeks ago? The 5th week just happened, and we are in our 6th week. Okay, for the ladies out there who have had children, you know what I'm talking about. That 6 week.
Oh yeah. That's another
interval.
thing. I was like, a lot of people have said that throughout this beginning of the season. I was thinking, I did the math, and I'm like, wait a minute, she got a 1 month old, and she trying to get busy with him. Like what? Who do what? Girl, you don't care about your you don't care about your vaginal health.
Nope.
Or the staples were just removed.
Like what? Like, girl, no.
She don't care about the health down there because you don't have one that stands unprotected if you were serious about all that stuff, right? So no, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
the thing is, she is attracted to Jared. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, she's very attracted. He's attracted to her.
Right, he is. But as I say, I mean, she controls the intimacy part.
Yes.
If she says, I'm healing and, I've just given birth, that's a valid reason not to hit the boom boom room.
Correct.
She won't, all she has to do, if she prioritized that, then, it wouldn't be as painful when she does hear the news because they wouldn't have slept together.
Right. That's true. And that's what I don't understand, why a lot of us women, we act like we don't understand, that we think we can be like men, and we can't in that area for the most part. It's a generalization. As generalizations go, it's not for everybody. There's always going to be exceptions. But most women really, if they give their body, if they lay down with a man, they have relations and they're intimate, most women will start to begin to develop a bond with that person. And in their case, they've been talking online, what is it, for 3-4 years? So obviously she has a bond with him.
Yeah, but she's got a bond with other men too.
True. And he has a bond with other women. That's also
exactly
true.
So that's why it's exhausting, keeping up with all these other people that each of them got bonds with.
That's true. So in this picture, she says, in this scene, she's saying, so you were just gonna drag me along. This is stuff that's coming up for next week. You guys have any thoughts about how this is going to play out now that she's going to finally be told the truth?
She might wild out like Tatiana. You're gonna see all the stripes of this zebra.
All the stripes. Ooh, I mean, she might, because her almost darn near crying when she was FaceTiming with her mother and her baby, her child. I was like, but you know what? You didn't have to be here. You could have been at home breastfeeding that little baby. You could have been bonding with her. You could have been singing her lullabies at night, but instead you came here to do what? To be with Jared?
And your hormones are still erratic. I know I couldn't. What? A month after I had my kid? Please. No. I couldn't. I could not see myself entertaining anyone, or far less leaving my child, even for a show. We're going to have to be on the next season.
Yeah, we'll catch next season. Right.
They've been 4.5 years. What's another year?
Right. What's the rush? Clearly, you guys weren't in no kind of rush before. So
clearly, if they were in the first season, she wouldn't be having this problem.
You know what? And then maybe she could have, in the year that she waited for the next season to film, she could have told him over the phone what was going on. And then that way, when she got there, she would have been able to probably look in his eyes and gauge what he really wanted. Because I think she got delusional and began thinking like, oh, you know what? We can make this work. Because wasn't it Jared that said we're going to take both our babies and make a, what was that he said? We're going to make a...
Noah's Ark?
Whole hands or something.
Yeah, no, infinity ring. That's what he called it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Jared told they were laying in the bed and he said, "Yeah, we can take our babies and make an infinity ring." I mean, he has so many jokes for the whole situation. I think she thought, "Oh, you know what? He can handle it. He gonna handle my 4 kids and his 2," which I think is a lot. I think the fact that she lied about it is a lot. So I blame her and I blame Jared.
Yeah.
I agree. I blame both of them. To me, both of them could have they could have been taken out, from the first episode. But you know what? I do appreciate this cast. Less altercation. Nobody's being removed from the set.
Yeah,
I do appreciate the conversations that they are bringing up.
they are. You're absolutely correct. I do appreciate it. And this whole thing, like with this couple right here, Chris and Alexi, the two of them being together and that age dynamic, like I don't want to do it. I don't want to date a younger man, but I'm not going to say I won't because, it's possible. But her and him, I mean, like they're bringing up that whole conversation of dating a younger man and what does that entail? And is she the one, in her case, is she the one that's just out for the smash and dash? Because she did say she's never had to work this hard before to get a young boy.
Yeah, she here to smash and dash. She here for that. I'm sorry. The fact that your friend brought you your supplies of protection, yeah. Your friend too
Mhm.
knows that you're here to smash and dash and that it never took this long for you to really get what. I mean, are you building a relationship or are you adding a notch to the bedpost? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And that was exactly my point earlier. Like the fact that the friend um bought prophylactics to use on Chris, and she was like, "Nah, we ain't got there yet. Like he's just hard work, man. He's not like these other younger dudes who see the allure of being with an older woman, a cougar. Yeah, he much more difficult to break down. So she definitely is only after the peen. That's why she gave it away in the first episode. She said she saw his profile, his pictures. She wasn't really attracted to him. But then she asked him to send a peen pic anyway. He sent it,
Hmm.
and that's what swayed her.
And that's when
That's
she
what made her
started
say, "Oh,
chasing.
really?
That's
Okay,
when she started chasing after him,
right."
right?
And then in the first intimacy task, where does she go? She leaves the handprint on the peen. So that's all she's after. The young, virile, tall, black, handsome guy, peen.
Mm. And we've got one more thing. We've got a little. It looks like it's going to be a disagreement with these two. You got Ty and Brittany, and she's cursing. Then she's got the fingers in his face, and he's like, "Don't put your fingers in my face. Don't do that." So I don't know who is going to be the next couple to leave. Is it going to be this couple? Is it going to be Brittany and Ty, or is it going to be Jared and Charlie? Or will they all leave and leave the house to Jay and Cinco?
Yes, that was going to be my answer. All of them, all of the above,
They all get
except Jay and Cinco. Yeah, Jay and Cinco win. All the rest of them crash and burn. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Latasha says she's so sick of Brittany. Why? What did Brittany ever do? That's just it. She doesn't do anything. She just sits around and wants to be waited on hand and foot. Is that what
Yeah.
it is, Latasha? What do you say, JR?
Yeah, she wants him to cook meals for the other 14 people or whatever, and then come and cook a separate meal for her, but do it first before you serve the other people. And all these other different things, man. He is just not getting through, whether it's through massages, whether it's through the intimacy challenges, whether it's through taking her to his house. None of it is working. So it's only a matter of time. We've seen him blow up before. So it's only a matter of time before something that she does or demands of him sends him over the edge. In this instance, it looks like she's going at him again.
Yeah. And wagging
And
that finger in a man's
yeah,
face is never good.
it
I mean,
does look like
anybody's face, actually. Anybody's face.
exactly. He looks like he's on the defensive end. So I'm not sure what he did. I can't even speculate on what he did because we didn't see enough. But from what we see on the clip, it looks like she's going in on him. And you know, at a certain point, he's got to realize, listen, man, what is she giving you back, bro? Like, you're doing all these different things to appease her and make her feel like a queen and all these other different things. But what is she giving to you? How is she
Mm,
reciprocating? You
mm.
know, how is she giving you what you want? And I'm not talking about boom boom room activities. I'm talking
Right,
about
right.
other elements of the relationship. What are you getting from Brittany that's keeping you there? Because
And
if it's
what?
nothing other
Mhm.
than being Jeffrey the butler, then you know, I really don't know what he's there for.
You know what I was thinking as you were talking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was thinking, are his needs getting met too? Because we all have needs. Now, one person's love language might be physical touch. Another person' love language might be words of affirmation or acts of service. Clearly, hers is acts of service. But what we don't really know what Ty's love language is because we've been focused on what Brittany wants, what Brittany needs. Cook
Mhm.
this, make me my drink. That's all grand and good, but we haven't really seen anything that, like you said, her really trying to reciprocate. What do you think, El Cid?
Well, we see him. He seems to be acts of service too. He likes to serve, but he likes to serve the masses as well as his person. He wants to make sure everybody is taken care of.
Hmm.
The thing is with Brittany, I would have her ask, she's looking for what her parents have. Her mother says that every day the dad wows her and every day he's pouring into her, but I think she's seeing the side where her dad maybe serves the mom, but I don't think she's also seeing the reciprocal. How is the mom pouring into her husband in order to also, encourage him to continue to
Oh
serve
yeah,
her?
because I'm
I
sure
think
she's
she's
doing things. Yeah.
Yes, I mean she definitely is. Even the way she spoke life into the situation, Brittany's mother. I just
Mhm.
think that Brittany needs to, kind of like hone in on that aspect of the relationship. And again, we don't know if this is edited. Maybe we don't see that she's pouring, into him and she is actually giving him words of affirmation about, that she appreciates when he does cook. We just don't know. And it'll be interesting for us to hear after the season from Ty, how has Brittany shown up in this relationship? Because it will be interesting to know because we don't see it.
Yeah, we really don't. We have no idea how she's shown up for him. And I think you are right. Is yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Are you gone or are you? Because
I'm
I
here.
no,
Oh,
I was talking to Jr. Sorry, hold on. Jr.
No, my signal, my reception. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm here.
yeah, and we're gonna let you go because listen, Miss Iffy, who is right there in London with JR, and I don't mean like physically in the same room or anything like that, but Miss Iffy said, "Hey, you know what? It is 1:15 a.m. over here in London, across the pond, and I got to go, girl." Okay, all right, I get it. Next week, come up with us, Miss Iffy. Come up and talk with us. Because by the way, Miss Iffy is also a great content creator. She's worked with me on other series as well. Like what do we do? Do we do Love and Marriage Huntsville, I think, for a minute. But anyway, what were you saying, JR? I'm sorry.
And me?
Yeah,
Uh,
what were you
no,
saying
my
about
respect. Go on.
mhm.
What was I saying about what?
I don't know anything. Anything at all. You want to tell the people what you got going on over in your Instagram?
Yeah, my sorry. As I said, my reception cut, so I had to
Okay.
rejoin. Um, what's going on? Obviously, never ever met's gonna see this season through and all the chaos and turbulence that comes with it. As I say, I'm currently looking at Jay and Cinco as being the couple that survived this show. The others, I don't think they make it. Um, so stay tuned for more reviews with Elsid and actually Aubrey right here. And
Yes.
then on my Instagram, it's mainly health, fitness, well-being, and a few property related things and stuff like that. So check me out on JRX TV on IG.
All right. All right. Sid, you want to tell the folks what you got going on over on your channel?
Yes, I usually do Love is Blind, usually the US and more importantly, the international versions. We're waiting on to see which Love is Blind International will be this summer. We have word that it could be the UK or it could be Brazil, which Brazil is supposed to be focusing on the 50 and over dating pool.
I love
So
it.
that is exciting. So we're waiting to see that. In the meantime, what we are doing is here NeverEverMets with actually Aubrey. I also cover it on Another Round JS on Friday evenings right after the show. On Tuesdays, actually Aubrey and I cover Somebody's Son, which this past episode last night has a
Woo!
lot to talk about. We got
Yeah,
some
we do.
homework to do.
I can't wait till Tuesday. I can't wait till Tuesday. Ooh.
Tuesday, y'all, 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure it will be simulcasted on both of our channels. And I also have something. I have two things. I have unsolicited advice where folks post their requests for advice on Reddit, on the Instagram, everywhere. So I read it and we give our unsolicited advice. And last Friday, I started something called LCID Unscripted. I have no plan. The show is whatever the audience decides.
Okay.
And we had a blast. We had a wonderful time. And so on my channel, LCID 932, there's another post for LCID Unscripted where you can put the topics you'd like us to start with, and our conversation could go anywhere from there. So that's what I'm doing until the shows come back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because we will be back. This has been a long journey for us on this episode. We normally not here for like basically almost 3 hours, but we were tonight. So go back if you didn't catch all of it. Go back and check it out. Please click like, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Definitely go over, check out JR, it's so hard for me to say your channel now because you changed your name. But Life is Reality. Go check him out. Go subscribe to his channel, and also LCID 932. I think I got the number right, Sid. Did I? LCID?
Yep, you did. You did.
Okay. And because Tuesday we're going to be talking about Somebody's Son. And in the meantime, we are ready to shake and shimmy on out, guys. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. We enjoyed you and we love you, and we'll see you next Sunday. Okay? Bye.